Oh, hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Live podcast. It is Wednesday, the 9th of October. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. We are back. It has been a while, but there are many and valid and invalid reasons for why that is the case. I am joined by some cohorts. We're waiting on one more to join us. Joined by a man who is pushing the boulder uphill. Mr. Liam.
How you doing, mister? You all right?
I'm good, man. You good? You good?
I re-reverse my figures, mate, and remember I'm 51, not 15.
Well, I remember a guy said at one time after a heavy day, he was an older fellow, and he said, I need I need to stop mixing up my ambitions and my capabilities.
Yeah, that's a much better way of doing it, mate. Donna's been telling me that for 20 years, but I'm finally starting to kind of take heed of what she's telling me.
So we are joined as well by the Lord of Lisburn, Mr. Marty Flynn.
What is happening?
It is all happening. It doesn't appear we've gone on live on Twitch for some reason. An error has occurred. Wait a moment, then try again. Right. You good, buddy? All good in your area?
Oh, full of Chinese. This is our mad night with the kids. So I'm only in. Bump the Chinese in the main. I'm sitting here with a beer. Match is on. Missed the first half. So
can you say that now? Can you still say that? Can you still say I'm getting the Chinese?
What the fuck else are you gonna say?
Well, that's what I don't know. I mean,
the world. I think you think I said.
No. I
succulent Chinese meal. What is the charge, Joe? What is the charge? A succulent Chinese meal. This man has touched my penis.
The world's gone now.
You know your judo will.
Succulent fucking Chinese meal.
Something has happened with our live Twitch feed, so that might not be going live. So I'm just going to stick up the live YouTube feed onto X or Twitter or whatever the fuck it's called now, and you can check it out there. I don't know what happened with Twitch. Twitch is probably going to fucking charge us now or something. We've lost longers. Bollocks, what happened?
This is some fucking start to nature. What the fuck? You've accused me of being a racist. Twitch has fucking fell down and now we've lost long shots. What the fuck the hell's going on here? I'm only in the door. I'm only in this door.
This is what people wait 3 weeks for. What are you talking about?
This is what happened with Scott's nano. The whole thing goes to fuck.
How fucking dare you?
Oh,
Scott needs to come on because Scott needs to get over being sad. That's part of life.
Scott's suicidal. Fuck me.
He
was talking to me about putting the bins out yesterday. How bad things are.
That's his level. That's his level of patter, is it? Like this.
Exactly. Fucking hell, that man is destroyed. Oh, destroyed. God love him.
Was it the result or was it the realization of like, oh, okay.
You see, Scott does it. Right. There's a common misconception that I don't like European football. It's been mentioned on here several times. That's not fucking true. Right? I don't really care about European football, which is a different matter altogether. And I regard Celtic playing at this level as being a fucking bonus because we're not fucking cut out to play at this level of football. So you go from ultra high, battering some fucking team from fucking Bratislava, and then ultra low by getting blattered by the Champions League finalists. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. But I think Scott, well, in fairness to Scott, I think we all thought this year that Brendan Rodgers would have learned something, but he clearly fucking hasn't, or he hasn't so far. You know, so.
Right, let's hold that one till Jason's on.
I'm just trying to fucking solve fucking Scott's pain at the minute, right? Because Scott is the eternal optimist. Right, he always expects Celtic to go out and fucking do well, you know, and sometimes it just doesn't fucking happen.
He's described himself as quite a pessimist, or maybe he uses a different word when it comes to the big games.
Nah, listen to me. I've been traveling Europe with fucking Scott since 2002, and like I'm telling you now, he hasn't fucking changed from the day I met him. He gets so down about European football, and I be like, I don't give a fuck. There's no point.
Oh, no, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. I'm the same. Me and Scott have got very similar views on this, but let's wait for the Hickster and we'll
just take the wins. It's like enjoy the wins when they come, but don't expect to win. You know what I mean? Don't expect to beat teams who are Champions League finalists. We're not a club built
Well, it's peaks and valleys. It's peaks and valleys. This episode's called Peaks and Valleys. Since we were all last on together, we had a win against Falkirk 5-2, which was a great game. We had a win against Johnson 6-0. Then we had the Valley, which was Dortmund getting hockeyed fucking 7-1. And then you've got Ross County 2-1.
Which was a sort of a fucking Drumlin Hill. It wasn't really a fucking peak, but it didn't end up a valley.
You had that. It was coming out of this Glen Shane Pass with your good tires
exactly,
on.
That's it. In the snow, in the fucking snow. You just get over it. I mean, you just hit Dungiven and you're on a far right. Past the Ponderosa.
Le Ponderosa.
What I tell you is about Lisbon for 5 minutes while we're waiting for Jason.
Well, this is what I want to get on to, your travel diaries.
Yeah. So, so I was in Lisbon the week before Dortmund, which was unfortunate. Well, great trip, but unfortunate timing. So this was a long-standing trip we booked for our 50th last year that has taken a while to get round, and because of the group being located in different places, we kind of went from, I think, Boston to New York to Chicago to somewhere else, and ended up in Lisbon. So I'm not sure how that happened, but that's what we did. And obviously Lisbon's a very obvious place for all of us in terms of our spiritual home, as we told many people while we were there. Excuse me. So yeah, we ended up going over there. The dates, when I picked the dates out for the flights, we flew out on the Thursday, which was the first week of the Champions League, but it was obviously being a Thursday, there's not going to be any games to play, so you're not going to miss a game. But as it turned out this year, the competition's changed, so they give each competition like their own individual week. And the first week of the competition was the Champions League only. I don't know if you noticed, but there were no Europa League games or conference games in the first week, which meant that there were games on the Thursday in the Champions League this time for the first time, I think. But luckily that didn't turn out to be Celtic, and obviously we had the Bratislava game the night before we went away, so the perfect tee up for the trip. So just did a bit of touristy stuff the first few days, and then on the Sunday we were going to watch the Celtic game and then go and watch Sporting. Bought tickets to go and watch Sporting play. We've been up at Belenenses Stadium. I think I sent you some videos and photos from there, which is a cool little stadium up in a place called Belém. So that was good, jumping in there, and they were setting up for a concert, so we managed just to walk through the front door really and kind of getting on the pitch, no problem. But on the Sunday, there's a pub in Lisbon called O'Gillen's. I think it's O'Gillen's it's called. And you know what it's like with pubs abroad that are labelled as Celtic pubs. You go in there, they're kind of Irish bars, but they don't really know fuck all about Celtic. But I read that this place was Celtic's a priority on the TV every time, irrespective of who else is playing, i.e. English games. So I thought that'll be good if it's true. So Celtic was due to be at 3:00 on the Sunday. So we jumped down about 12:30 just to make sure the game was on before we went and grabbed some food and stuff. And there's a couple of boys outside, just said hello to them, started talking to them, didn't know who they were. And then just checked with them the game was on. They said, yeah, game's on. So we said, fine, we'll go and get some food and come back for kick-off. So we just jumped on the scooters down the seafront, grabbed a bit of food down the docks and then back up for the game. Just got in about 10 minutes before kick-off. The place was absolutely bouncing with Celtic fans, which was amazing. It's a bit like a European game. The whole boozer was full. So we're in there for about 5 minutes, and then a boy comes up to me saying, "Are you Liam from the podcast?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "I'm a friend of Jason." I'm like, yeah, everyone's a friend of Jason. Everybody in the world.
What the fuck?
Can't throw a stone on holiday without fucking hitting one of Jason's mates, can you? Fuck me.
Mate, honestly, it's incredible. The boy's like, I was listening to the show on Friday, and forgetting his name now, I'll dig it out in a minute. He's like, I was listening to the show on Friday and I heard you were coming away. And that was the boy I spoke to outside without realising who it was. So got the boys, he's from Wishaw as well. So got the boys, one of them turns out I played golf with at the Kano Golf Day last year as well. So that whole small world syndrome. But so we stayed in there for the game. But like you said, we haven't covered it yet, but I thought it was a really exciting game. Thought Falkirk were put in a great performance, great team. Celtic did brilliant in the end, so got a great result there. But it was funny because there was a lot of English and Americans and whatever tourists coming in as it was getting closer to 4:30 because it was Man City Arsenal after the Celtic game, but it was starting sort of 20 minutes before Celtic finished. And good as gold, the woman just like they were coming in asking for the game to put on. The woman's like, no, you just have to wait till the end of the Celtic game. So that was really good to see. And you got all these Americans in there, go Celtics, go Celtics. And, you know,
Soccer, man.
Yeah, the Arsenal fans in there were kind of like quite into watching Celtic as well. So it wasn't bad. And they put the English game on the little TV and then waited till about 5 minutes after the end of full time before they switched them all on. So it was big shout out to that pub in Lisbon. So definitely a recommendation for people. It's proper Celtic booze. They're just around the corner from Pink Street. So get yourself in there. I know a lot of people are obviously going to Lisbon, just planning to go because of the stadium renovation. So we jumped on we watched a bit of the Arsenal Man City, jumped on the metro or train or whatever it was and went up to the stadium. And what a brilliant experience that was. Big crowd, big beautiful stadium, Sporting on a roll. Everyone we met and spoke to were raving about their two centre forwards. They've got a Swedish boy and I think maybe a Norwegian boy that signed recently. And the two of them are tipped for the very, very top. So we went up there, spoke to a few boys, where could we go get a beer and stuff? And he went, no, just get them from the kind of the food stalls and whatever. And then everyone congregates outside, or large numbers congregate outside in this little kind of car park type thing. And it was great. It was great atmosphere there. Like all their little ultras were there, setting off the flares, all that sort of stuff. Big sing song. And, you know, we had kind of the Celtic tops on, and everyone we bumped into were, you know, really friendly with us, Celtic, and all that sort of stuff, George Cadetti. So we got a great welcome everywhere we went. Went into the ground, like I said, great stadium. We'd only planned to stay until half time. They were playing a team that was kind of pretty low down in the league, so you knew it was going to be a bit of a stroll for them, which it was. So I think there were 2-0 up maybe for the first half. So we just watched the first half and went back into Lisbon and met up with Chris Highway. You probably met him before, Joe. I think you maybe know. Yeah, Hamilton Chris. So we met him as well. He was over for a conference for a few days, so met him, had a few beers with him, which was good. And then on the Monday we'd planned to go to the stadium. Luckily enough, been there twice before when we played Benfica, and both times had the Lisbon Lions on the pitch with us as well. So I mean, that was you can't really top that, can you, in terms of what you want to do. But you know, for everyone that's been or everyone that hasn't been, it's just an absolute incredible experience for you. You can feel the spirit of the Lisbons there while you're there, and I could honestly just sit there all day, every day, just taking it all in. It's one of the most unusual stadiums I've ever been to. The floodlights, the way they lean back into the corners, just incredible. And you have to kind of walk through this park and, you know, find your way there. So we got the train rather than get a taxi, and got the train, jumped off, walked up through the park, and as you come around the corner, the stadium just kind of opens itself out to you. And it hasn't really changed much since back in the day. And I think everyone's worried it's going to get knocked down, but I don't think that's happening at all. It's in really good condition. It's had a proper smart and a liquor.
I think what has happened there is Portugal's tourist industry's had a bit of a fucking dip, so they put that fucking rumour out to encourage Celtic fans to make a beeline to fucking boost the tourism industry.
Not bad idea.
It's looking smart. It's looking really good. So we walked up there, got there, probably about 20 Celtic fans there by the time we already got there in different groups, 4 or 5 different groups. And then the hour we were there, probably another 10 or 15 came as well. It's absolutely incredible, like the amount of people that come to and from it. So we got in. The world famous security guard Carlos was there. He kind of greeted us.
Carlos must be fucking dripping in gold at this point.
This is the thing.
He's investing in oil.
He said to me, "I only work 2 days a week." I'm like, I'm not fucking surprised, man. the amount of buns you're getting.
If I earned more money, they'd come after me.
And I said to him, Carlos, you realise you're one of the most famous people in Scotland? He said, yeah, I do. Of course I do.
Carlos, fuck being fucking humble, Carlos. Fuck it.
He was very humble, Joe, in fairness to him. And so, like, they take you in there, they let you in, let you wander around for a bit. Then he took us to the dressing room number 1, where Celtic were, and we're in there, and that's barely changed at all. And again, it's just incredible feeling that you get. and then to take you through the tunnel from where the players went through it. But unfortunately, it was locked at the other end. Excuse me, because there was rugby games on there across the weekend. That was the only weird thing. There was rugby posts up instead of the goal posts. So he lets you do that, and then he lets you go up to where the trophy lift was and everything. And then they've tightened that up a little bit as well and made that a little bit smarter. So we went up there and just like you say, you just sit around and you take it all in. It's absolutely incredible. So you're in there for about an hour, and then he brings you back down, takes a few photos of you and whatever. So we did that, and it was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And I'd read up on a few people that have been down to Estoril, to the hotel the team stayed in before the final. So I said, I really fancy doing that and just going down, getting in there and just seeing it for 5 minutes, or go and have a beer in there or whatever. So we just jumped taxis are ridiculously cheap in Lisbon. We just got a taxi for something like €10. You can get the train from the stadium. You can go back to the train station and go a few stops to Estoril, but we've got the taxi down there. And Estoril's like, I don't know if you've ever been, but it's like something out the 70s. You know, it's a really smart seaside beach sort of resort place, but all the buildings are all shaped like straight out the 70s. You know, so it's quite an unusual place. And we walked down to the Hotel Placio, big fancy hotel. And we walked down the kind of main street towards it. So you thought we were going to the front of it, but we're actually at the back of it. So we're at the back where the swimming pool and the gardens were. So there was no gate to get in, but there was just a fence stuff that you could see through. So when we looked through, there was a conference on, probably about 200 or 300 people in suits and stuff. So all the lads were like, oh, fuck this, we're not going to get in there, no chance. I said, look, I'm not coming this far not to get in. So I said, let's get some food and we'll just work out a plan. So we sat and had a bit of food for an hour, a couple of beers, and then I said, look, we'll just go around the front of the actual proper part of the hotel and we'll just chance it. So we got ourselves around the front. As we walked up towards the hotel, there's a proper concierge outside, full coat on, the hat on, the suit, the whole thing. I'm like, we got no chance in the hoops here of getting in here. So 2 of the boys just said, look, we'll wait here. And I said, no, I'm going to go in. I'll get my way in, no problem. So I walked up. Mick was not far behind me. Looked at the concierge, kind of gave him a smile. He just nodded at me and smiled back. I thought, that's not a bad start. So I walked into the reception, marble floors and everything everywhere, just strolled straight in. Nobody even give me a second look. Kind of went through the back door into where the swimming pool was. And again, you can just feel it. You know what I mean? You can feel the history and the spirit of the whole thing. And you can just picture that, you know, pale white, red-haired Jimmy Johnson running around the pool off the footage that you've seen before. And it was incredible just being there. It wasn't even there that long, you know, just being there and just taking it all in. It was great. But because the conference was still finishing off, we thought there's no point in having a beer. We might as well just, you know, we've kind of chanced our luck, so that'll do us. And on the way out, I said to Mick, I said, concierge is a decent age. I said, I'm just going to go and ask him how old he is, just in case he was around at that time. I said, but I don't think he's that old. So I went over and asked him politely. I said, look, I hope you don't mind. I'm not being offensive, but I wondered how old you are when you started working here. And he said, 1984. I said, right. I said, you know, pointing to the badge, I went, you know Celtic? He said, of course we know Celtic. Everyone knows Celtic. He said, this is Celtic. This hotel is Celtic. And he was great with us. And I said, just on the off chance, I was hoping someone might be here. I said, but I know that's probably impossible. He said, no, you wait here. I'll take you into the hotel. I need you to meet someone very special. I said, all right, okay, that's good. So I walked in, and there's this guy on the desk, an older guy, grey hair, looks an absolute $1 million. And he's like, look, you need to meet Jose here. I'll put him on to you when he's off the phone. As soon as Jose come off the phone and saw it, it's like, Celtic. So he said, this man was here when the team was here for the cup. So he comes bouncing out from behind the reception. He's like, yes. I was 17. I worked here when the team came. I was 17. I looked after them. He said, and then when the game was on and they won, I came back to the hotel after the game and met the team as they came back in with the trophy. And just like that, jaw-dropping stuff, you know what I mean, talking to him. And I thought that he'd just tell us that little bit. But then he starts telling us about, you know, the team have been back for the first anniversary, the 5th, the 10th, 20th, whatever. He said, I host them all the time. They fly me to London and other events back in the UK, you know, to be with the team for these kind of, you know, these anniversary dinners. He said, I've got like signed shirt upstairs. I know all the Lions, obviously a lot of them are past now. He said, I know them all very well, first name terms, and just an absolute incredible guy. And he could not do enough for us. He's like, I've got photographs for you. He's on the phone. He's like, right, telling the guy to print these photos off for us, and then he's taking us around, showing us photos in the hotel of when the players have been back, and Portuguese royalty that stay in the hotel as well. And he then tells us that he was in a James Bond film in 1968, and there's pictures of him everywhere. They have James Bond reunions there as well in the hotel. There's pictures of him with these famous James Bond characters.
Fucking Jose's lived a life, what?
Yeah, and he still looked about 20 years younger than all of us put together. what a boy. 60 years he's been there at the hotel. 60 years. And he couldn't have done enough for us. I actually wish we'd have just stayed and had a beer now, because he probably would have just sat with us.
See, when you said he was 17 when that happened, the fucking hairs in my arm stood up. Imagine that experience. Imagine that experience as a 17-year-old kid working in a hotel. Next thing, you've got the fucking European Cup in your fucking hands.
Absolutely.
And you're right in the middle of a historical event.
Absolutely. And see, for him as well, like, he's sitting there 57 years on. He's like, still people coming up to the hotel. Still people turning up just to talk about the team and the occasion and this hotel itself. It's unbelievable. They must be absolutely mental.
We have been joined by the man who's come from a meeting. That sounds a lot more paramilitary than it should. Jabo, what's happening?
How's it going? All right.
All good. We can hear you loud and clear. Liam's just filling us in on his Lisbon tour. We just covered Jose, who's as a 17-year-old boy wound up in the middle of the Lisbon Lions when they won the European Cup and has become a lifelong friend. I mean, that's some fucking living right there.
Yeah, it's one of the best things I've ever done. Honestly, one of the best experiences I've had. I'm so glad I went and made the effort to go through and go into the hotel. And what a boy!
Best ever, Scott. Best ever.
It's up there, mate. It's up there, I tell you.
Best ever. Well, I have a plan to go to Lisbon at the start of next year for at least a weekend. So yeah. I'll be seeking out Jose going, you're my friend.
Do you know what? It's a weird thing. I've never ever been to Lisbon apart from when Celtics played there, and it's an amazing city. And I don't know why I've never went back.
Yeah,
it's a class place.
Yeah, first time for me, mate. Obviously, I've been twice for the Benfica games, but first time. There's so much to do there. Like you said, it's a big, massive, lively city. I didn't realise it was the city built on 7 hills, and we actually were stopping at the top of one of them, so that wasn't ideal. But as a city, it's fantastic. And then obviously two of my Brummie pals just randomly just flew over for a day to come and see me as well. So that all added to the occasion. Pretty good few days over there. But from a Celtic perspective, what a city, what a place. And they loved us over there, and Sporting's going to be some team, I think, the way they're playing. So that was a good experience all round.
Good stuff.
Very enjoyable.
Talking about Lisbon tonight, I was in at the meeting for the Tommy Gemmell community project for the statue, and really sad news we got. Craig Newk the last week. Big Billy Jackson died. Right, Big Billy. He was a founder member. Him and John Smith. He was a founder member of the Craig Newk Tommy Gemmell Celtic Supporters Club. Big Billy was in Lisbon, and just my first ever Celtic hero. Do you know what I mean? Big Billy never missed a game. Took me to my first games in Europe. Ran the buses and everything. So the big man, he was in the early 80s. He died last week. So just thoughts and prayers to everybody. Just a very, very sad time. And we've got this the statue, from the statue to Celtic Park next Saturday. We're all just praying that Billy's funeral isn't in the Saturday. Oh my God. But just need to wait and see. But thoughts and prayers for Big Billy Jackson. Absolutely devastated, man. The big man was a legend.
Sorry, that man.
Oh, yeah. Just as you mentioned Lisbon, because we're talking about it as well, because all his memorabilia he's got in the house and stuff like that. Yeah. He must have Celtic stuff for years ago, Never missed a game. See, when years gone by, ran all the buses to Europe and everything, just Celtic daft. Yeah.
That's a shame, mate. See, just to wrap up the Lisbon thing, I was at a 50th birthday on Saturday, and see the boy that I did the podcast with. Scott did the podcast about Lisbon. We've got them 2 guys that were at the game.
Aye.
Yeah, in the prison head, aye.
Yeah. So the guy that I interviewed, that I brought in, I don't know him that well. He's a friend of a family member of a friend that we know, and I've seen him a few times since. I saw him at the party there, and I was chatting away, telling him my Lisbon stories, and he's never been back since '67, which is I found that amazing. And he's a well-travelled guy as well. Like, he goes to Spain and that all the time, but he's never actually gone back to Lisbon. I found that fascinating, incredible. Thought he'd have been back there as often as he could. So I said, look, you're a good age now. You need to get yourself back there at some point as soon as you can. And his daughter was there, and I said, get him over. I said, I'll take him. If he's got no one to go with, we'll get him back over there. But you need to go back and kind of revisit that if you've been at the game, especially.
Aye, definitely.
I'm amazed somebody didn't make any like a business out of that, like a trip out of that. I mean,
yeah, you could.
Here. There's probably some holy sites in Portugal. Is it Medjugorje in Portugal?
Fatima.
There you go. Fatima and fucking the Celtic tour. There you go. You've got the senior citizens locked in.
Years ago, cunts used to run buses from Glasgow to go to the fields of Athenry. They all stood in the field. Oh, lie the fields. So it could be fucking done with Lisbon. Fuck me.
Aye. HomeBhoys bus tour. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Higgins travel. Check it in the gear. Let's go.
Exactly. Higgins travel.
Let's go. 72 seat fucking double decker. 3 toilets.
While we're talking about Higgins travel, have you touched the Dortmund debacle yet?
No, fuck's sake, we're winning you.
No, but before we go on to Higgins travel, right? We need power travel to get his itinerary for Dortmund. How that went? How did that go, kid?
It turns out the itinerary was reflective of the game itself, so it all worked out.
There's a shocker. There's a shocker.
I haven't heard this now. To my knowledge, it went off as smooth as you let it out.
Yeah, look, I was fine with it. It was pretty relaxing. I had a few pints on the Monday with Jim Blythe, and flew over with him and his boy to Dublin. When I stayed with my cousin, had a couple of pints with him. That's fine. Flew to the airport late the next morning. Met the Brummy boys, met a few of them, met some madman from Lisbon, Marty, that
you told me, I fucking hell.
Was some character there. Met a lot of other boys, met a boy, Kev, who listens to the show all the time as well. So travelled over with him on the plane, had a few beers with him. So it was all absolutely fine until we got to the ground and the game kicked off as per usual. The next day was a bit of a stretch, to be fair, getting back. A lot of
what time did you arrive in Germany at?
About 20 to 4.
You arrived in Germany. What time was your flight for Dublin?
Half 12.
Half 12.
Yeah.
So you get in at 20 to 4. Where did you land?
Dusseldorf.
And then you had to make your way to Bochum to drop your bag off.
Took about 20 minutes on the train from Dusseldorf straight to Bochum, dropped the bags, and then just got a taxi straight and met Jim, Sarah, all that crowd in the Celtic supporters club in Dortmund. We were there for about 5:30, I think. It wasn't even that late.
So you only got there a couple of hours before the game?
3.5 hours before the game, so it was enough for what we needed to do. Met Clone Cell out in that same pub as well, and a few others. Just had a couple of pints there, and then got the train or metro up to the ground, and had a drink around the ground and stuff. Just missed Scott, I think, in the pub as well. So
then after the game, did you stay at the end?
No, left at half time. Got the train back into Dortmund and then straight back to Bochum, so we could have a few pints in Bochum rather than get caught with the whole crowd. So that's 2 trips, Madrid and Dortmund, 12 goals down.
2 grand down.
Half time both games. So yeah, I might be retiring with some other people in the chat, Jason. Like it's going.
Oh, fucking hell. So then, what time was your train for Bochum the next day?
No, the train was due to leave at 20 to 7, but shared a room with a few of the boys, which didn't work out too well. So there wasn't a lot of sleep the night before. So I ended up getting up. I went out. I left a bit early. What's that, Joe?
Explain that there. It just sounds a wee bit more sorted.
No, just people coming at different times and whatever else. And then one of the boys' alarm was going off from the morning before at like 4:30 or whatever, and he was too out the game to just kept hitting the phone onto snooze all the time. So
bastard, he'd be getting that phone bounced off his fucking head.
That was coming. That's why I got up and I thought I'd get an earlier train, and I thought the trains were brilliant in Germany every time we've been before, Jason. I've been with you a few times, but they were fucking murder this time. Every single one was delayed. So went from Bochum to, where do we go? Duisburg, I think, and then Duisburg into somewhere in Holland. A quick change to Schiphol. So we were pretty tight by the time we got our flight around 20 past 11, I think, from Amsterdam. But then it was nice and easy from there, an hour, 20 minutes into Manchester, and then just a bag of cans and a direct train up the road from Manchester straight into Central. I was back at the house for 5:30 the next day.
Bloody hell. See, to be fair, our trains were absolutely perfect, but remember that we were lucky that time when we left Leverkusen. Remember, we left Cologne, to go to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And our train was perfect, got us into Amsterdam. But if we get the next one, the folk that get the train before us or the train after us, remember they didn't get there till midnight and they missed their flight.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that actually. But I know during the Euros, a lot of people were complaining about the trains, really complaining about them. But I was just thinking back, I thought ours was good. But see if you look at it, really, I know it was a rush job getting back, but I think the whole thing, including match ticket, cost me less than 200 quid or just around 200 quid, and didn't really spend a lot. You kind of, because you're on the move a lot, you weren't drinking that much like you would normally do. But I think the day trip or the one night trip was 720 quid. People paid.
Fuck that.
You know what I mean? Seven, and that was going into Dusseldorf, and then a bus was going from Dusseldorf at 5 or 6 o'clock or something. Obviously, you can make your own way, but that trip didn't sound much cleverer, and that was fucking 720 quid.
Sounded honking.
Yeah.
Fucking Higgins travel the next time. It's the only way to travel, mate. Fucking.
Well, you guys on holiday when the draws, mate. That's no good, mate.
I know. So we're getting to Bergamo at 1:30 in the Tuesday afternoon.
Lovely.
And then we leave Bergamo about 1:30 on the Thursday. So it's perfect. But, well, I know it was just the amount of people that was going to Dortmund. Obviously, by the time you'd booked it, there'd been no easy way getting there with like a couple of days, to enjoy it. But game. So let's go on to the game. Have we got anything else to discuss? Are we doing?
I think we should start with the game first. Start with the game and work back. But before we just get into the whole rant of the game, which is obviously fully justified, I just think it's important to think back to the St Johnstone game, how good we were, because it was almost as good as anything I've seen in years from Celtic, and we've been brilliant a lot of the time. So, genuinely, and I'll put this out to all of you, how were you feeling about the Dortmund game after the St Johnstone game and before the Dortmund game started? Because I know it's easy to reflect on it after we've been smashed over there, but I've got my views, which I'm happy to share. But I'm interested how you guys were before the game, after the way we played.
Do you know what? See, before we played, highly confident, right?
Yeah.
Completely like going, this is going to be very, very different, right? See, as we played and after we played, it felt like somebody just poured a big bucket of ice water over my head and went, "Wake up for fuck's sake!" Right? Wake up for fuck's sake, right? Because you look at the players like your man Adeyemi, and you're going, "That's like there's levels, there's fucking levels to this. That man's a different breed."
Yeah. Before you jump into too much, just interested on the others as well. So, Jason, how were you feeling before the game after St Johnstone?
I was feeling really confident about Celtic, right? But I was under no illusions, and I was working during the day, so there was a few blue noses saying you must have a chance tonight, and I was like, well, we've got a chance, but I still I fully expected us to lose. I said 3-1,
right?
And I says I'm not confident whatsoever to get the result, but there is a chance because we are good up front.
Yeah.
But I was fully expecting like personnel, well, not so much personnel. Well, I was expecting us to play a more kind of defensive role, and like, see when I seen the team lined up with the exact same formation as St Johnstone away, I was just like, wait a fucking minute here. So I says the only thing that I was thinking before the game, we'll lose 5-3 now.
Right.
Because
yeah,
I thought David, we are setting up that way with Carter Vickers missing in the centre half position, and just free flowing with one defensive midfielder. I was like, fucking hell, this is just. And
go on.
After 10 minutes of the game, you kind of knew what was going to happen, and it was just Rodgers made no tactical changes whatsoever. Didn't he change the shape of the team and just left them? And I was fucking hell. We cannot compete with teams like that playing the way we play domestically.
So on that point there, then. So before we jump into the game, and Marty, sorry, we'll come jump into you in a second. But so, who would you have picked different, or how would you have set up differently with the players that we've got? I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just interested as to what people would have done differently before the game.
I would have played 4, either 5 at the back or 4 at the back, and I'd have played 4 in the midfield, and I would have cancelled the wingers out, and I'd have played Maeda up front himself.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because you've got Maeda out on the right, and he's your big danger man. Kyogo's pointless in games like that. When you're playing top class opposition away from home, and you've got Kyogo up there, he's not getting a sniff.
Well, I think we've I don't know if you remember, but last season I said a couple of times about European games, I'd like to see us play a different way and have Maeda and Kyogo up front together with the pace of the two and try and play a bit more of a counter attack. But that's why I was interested as to what you were thinking.
Well, fair enough. So if you play 4 in the middle and then you play Kyogo and Maeda up front, fair enough. Just Maeda off him or whatever. Potentially, aye, but you can't play 3 in the midfield against a team like that. Impossible. And it just proved it, that big boy. Let's go to Marty first because we're getting into
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. What about me? Talk away.
No, but what did you think? Are you confident before the game?
But I sort of addressed it earlier, right? I don't really get high or low about European games. They are what they are. And, I was hopeful. I was going, surely the fuck this is the one time where we're going in on a high. But you're playing Champions League finalists here, so you're not playing. And like people go, oh, they're shit, they're 5th in the league and all that. They're 5th in the fucking Bundesliga. We play in Scotland. They're a very, very good team. And they've went out and spent multi-millions in the summertime. But I have to be honest, like, maybe we'll come on this in a wee bit more depth, but we're the authors of our own destruction. Do you know what I mean? And we all have our own views on it, but I was hoping when Maeda scored, you were going, right, it's early in the match. Yes, they've scored, we've scored now. Try and tighten it up and kind of frustrate them here for a wee while. And
but the way our team was set up, we couldn't tighten it up.
No,
so fucking open.
That's my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you were just after the next goal, and then you were going, what the fuck? What's going on here? This is going to end up a turkey shoot. And you win the games in the trenches, and there was such a gap between our defence and the keeper that they just made merry hell. And I think it was the 6th goal. Every single Celtic player, apart from fucking the keeper, was in their half when they scored or when the move started. It's totally naive. And like hammering teams like St. Johnson just do us no favours. You know what I mean? This really shows the levels of the games that we're playing at. And don't get me wrong, it's great to be there and it's great to fucking to be at that level of football. But we simply can't compete. And we don't have the players, we don't have the mentality, we don't have the experience of it. But we have to be there, we have to stay there. We can't keep bouncing out of the fucking Champions League every year. We have to be there year on year to get that kind of, ability, and then not be wowed by going to those stadiums that the homes of football across fucking Europe. You have to be there regularly so that your mentality's changing and you're thinking, oh, we played these fucking cunts last year, so we'll not be as bad this year as we were last year.
So see on that, Marty, a few points on that, right? So I was confident before the game. I was genuinely confident we could go out there and at least give them not toe to toe with them, but give them a game, right? And maybe Jason, a bit like you said, 5-3 or 5, I don't know, 4-2, something like that. But I thought we could be in the game for quite a bit and carry a threat, right? And I was happy when I saw the team come out, right? Because one, I was happy because of how well they played, and 2, I don't know that we've got a different way. I don't know if we've got the personnel to massively change how we would play, right? So if we wanted to play 5 at the back, for example, we don't have Carter Vickers, who's by far our best defender. So what could you do? You could put Alistair Johnson inside one, play Ralston, and then play that's 5 across the back if you want. And I think Johnson plays there for Canada, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of right-sided of a 3. Or you could do, I don't know, you could have played Welsh or Navrocki and push Scales to left back. But there's not a huge option. We don't have any natural left-sided or right-sided midfielders as opposed to wingers like you might have had Joe Ledley back in the day, or someone who can dig in and get about. We've just got wingers, haven't we? Or we've got central midfielders. So I'm not saying it's right, but it is difficult with the personnel that we've got about how we can change games to change our formation too much and do that as a one-off when we've played exactly the same way for the last 20 or 30. And I'm not justifying what Brendan Rodgers has said or kind of condoning him so much, but I do find it tricky as to how we go about doing that in an effective way.
Well, Liam, straight off the bat, right? You've got McGregor, you've got Luke McCowan, you've got Bernardo, you've got Hatate. So you've got 4 midfielders there, but none of them are wingers. You could have played the 4 of them.
Yeah, but they're all central midfielders, aren't they? They all play central midfield all the time. They're not saying they couldn't go out and do a job out a bit wider, but they are by trade.
Or for instance, you could tell Kuhn, or you could put James Forrest or whatever, and you could tell them to play like a right-sided midfielder. Tell them not to bomb up and down the wing. The bottom line is, regardless of the defence get your big man Trusty looked like an absolute donkey, and I'm not convinced him anyway. But he get no protection at all for the midfield, none. Yeah. You had 3 midfielders there that were just wandering about, and they was well not even been there. The Germans were just walking through them at will. They were pointless. They done nothing. Hatate actually looked all right when he came on, because Bernardo was like. But the thing was, there wasn't any of them get pass marks.
Yeah.
Engels was pathetic, right?
Yeah.
And but you can definitely change it. And see like this, we can't compete. That's bullshit. We've got good fitter players there. And if you're set up the right way, you can compete. And the way we were set up, you were absolutely, it was a gift to Borussia Dortmund. And all right, nearly every one of their shots was fucking nailers, right? And I seen folk complaining about Kasper Schmeichel. It'd have been 12 fucking 1 if he wasn't in goals.
That's 100%. 100%.
But it was criminal. And see, after 30 minutes, Rodgers had to make a change, and he doesn't. And see, in the second half, he brings on subs, and he brings like for like. And you're just like, and then after the game, it's like, well, we can only play that way. We won't change the way we play. And you're, no, wait a fucking minute, pal. It doesn't work like that. We can only play. Bullshit. Fucking professional football players, you give them a task to go out there. They should be drilled in that the week leading up to it. This is your role. You need to do this. You're trying to say to me, if you say to Kuhn, you play as a right-sided midfielder, right? And I don't want you bombing up and down the wing. I just want you to keep possession, pass it into the middle, do 1-2s and work your way up the park and whatever, and just get hard in the tackle. They'd fucking more fouls than us. They were getting stuck in more than we were. It was fucking criminal the way Celtic. It was absolutely embarrassing. And for Rodgers to come out after that game and say we can only play that way, that's fucking a degradation of duties. Honestly, I think it's fucking criminal. And you and Scott were the ones that were on. I'm on that boat now about European football, and we need to be smart. And you're not telling me we've not got the players that can change the way they play, and we can set up differently.
Yeah, I'm asking the question. I'm trying to just generate a bit of debate about it. So,
aye.
And to give you an example, right? I don't know if you watched the Villa game the night after. I watched it when I got back, right? And I've talked to you.
Exactly.
I've had a joke about Emery and Rodgers, right? Obviously in our own chat, but Emery's a world-class manager, an absolute fucking world-class manager. And
totally.
What Villa did was they dropped their Bailey, the pacey winger. They just narrowed the path. They bind the ball the whole time in their own half, gave them the wide positions, and just made it compact in the middle of the park. And Villa were brilliant.
Liam, it was exactly the fucking same tactics that we had against Barcelona when we
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same tactics. And this is what pisses me off. Is people were texting me the other night going, no, we've actually done this against the far superior team and beat them. And we forgot to do it since. That's what pisses me off. Now, our team then had Victor Wanyama in it. And that man at that time could not be understated the job he did. He sat in front of the fucking back four and fucking just guarded them. He was big, he was physical, he wasn't afraid of fucking anybody. And as you saw from those games, he had a goal in him. And we definitely are missing a player like that, but don't need a player like that in Scotland. That's the problem. You know, you don't need to for your bread and butter, but you fucking do if we're going to play these teams at that level, because we are a cut below these types of teams, and it's like it stands to fucking reason. You know what I mean? The Dortmund have a fucking turnover 5 times the size of ours. They have a transfer budget 20 times the size of ours. You know what I mean? They're in it. Bad, but...
See, the thing is, Marty, with Dortmund, right? They lost 5-1 to Stuttgart. They were 2-0 down to Bochum the week before we played them. Then they went and got beat by Union Berlin at the weekend there, right?
I know, but
they're brilliant on the night. They're not world beaters, right? They're not.
They're not at all, but they're just a cut above us. This is my point.
But Marty, they were a cut above us because we made it so fucking easy for them. Yeah. See if you get German teams that lined up against them the way we did, they'd fucking romp that league.
I don't disagree at all. I do not disagree with a single thing
that result was on Brendan Rodgers, and we've seen it so many times with him in Europe.
I told you,
his naivety is unbelievable.
I said it earlier on. You win and lose those games in the trenches, right? Against Barcelona, when we packed the fucking trenches and we did not let them move. The trench between fucking Liam Scales and that other fucking Egypt trustee was 40 yards. It was 40 yards between them and the keeper. It was insane. They just sliced us open. It was and that's hold on. That's the defense. That's the defensive end of it, right? So we can talk about the loss of the goals. Now let's talk about the offensive end of it, because they fucking knew that Maeda was our outball, and they just stopped the ball getting near him. Harper said it on our group chat that night. Me and him were fucking talking about it. He says, I says they've sussed out fucking Maeda's trick, and he went, they've just stopped the ball going to him. And I went, exactly. Pack that bit, put 3 players over onto that wing, and any time the ball goes anywhere near him, just knock it away. And that's exactly what happened. And I do think, Mark, that Maeda was fortuitous with the goal. I mean, he got it, fair play, tell him he got into the position to do it, but it sort of bounced off his body. It wasn't a header, it wasn't a kick. He just kind of flung himself at it.
It was fortuitous. It was fucking nowhere near fortuitous. He fucking made a great run and scored a goal.
I just said that, but he didn't head it, he didn't kick it. He threw himself forward. But it could have easily have been a handball and a free kick out.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I mean,
they score.
See, the thing is, right? You need to defend for the front in these games, right? And you need your midfield to be solid. And if your midfield's no solid, forget you win and lose football games in your midfield. I don't care what anybody says. The days of fucking hoofing it up, long balls, and fucking you get the odd goal that way. But midfields win or lose games. Our midfield was non-existent, and arguably you'd say it's the strongest part of our team, where we've got a riches of talent. It was an absolute disgrace the way Celtic were set up, and they were set up like that way with the manager, and they were told to play. We're not good enough on the ball to compete with teams like that, to play a similar type setup that we've done there. It's impossible because we just aren't good enough football players. The thing is, the amount of times they intercept passes for us, when they pass it to each other, they drill it, and it's under control with one touch, and they're off and running. We're doing wee short passes and fucking tapping it, and they're just nitting in, and it was embarrassing to watch. And our players are better than that. And see if they've been set up more solid, to have more confidence what was run about them, and to be less exposed, then it would never have been anywhere near that score. And you could have, they still probably would have beat us, right? And I get that. Rodgers came out with a comment saying, would you want us today defend and end up getting beat 3-0? That's not the way we should be playing. And you're like, wait a fucking minute,
So you'd rather fucking get beat 6-1?
oh fucking hell.
What the fuck? Like?
It was embarrassing. And
Totally. Listen, I don't disagree with a fucking single word you said there. Not a single syllable. I agree with everything you said. We were set up completely wrong. We do not have enough talented players to play at this level. We have decent players in all positions, but that's all they are. Maida,
but they're,
Kyogo,
they're good,
even across the front.
but
I
they're
said
good.
it on here.
They're good players.
No,
mean,
but I
they're
know,
good.
but I said it on here a few weeks ago. Middle to front, we always have goals in us. But at this level, it was kamikaze stuff. Like, it fucking was nuts. It was
And
just crazy.
by the way,
And
they're
even after the second goal went in, you should have been adjusting then. Like, even if
totally.
you had, even if you go out with the philosophy, right, and you start the match and you want to play, it's like Mike Tyson saying, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the fucking Cuban. Do you know what I mean? After the second goal, adjustments should have been made. Engel should have been brought back, told not to fucking leave the centre circle area and just stay there.
Aye.
Let fucking McGregor run about, fucking bop, do whatever the fuck he wants, but don't you move. Stay you there. And if you get the ball, feed Kuhn and feed Maida. Go past them, keep it fucking tight here. Don't give the ball away again in the middle of midfield, because that gives their players the options of running out. At least if you're passing it to the fucking wings, you've less chance of being cut open.
Engel should have been told straight away, get onto that boy Brandt and don't let him fucking breathe.
What a fucking player. Fuck me. He had a fucking sexual match, that fella. But again, we probably allowed him to do it.
It made it easy for him. I mean, he's a quality player. I mean,
he
50 German caps or whatever, but he's fucking class. But
he was a class act. He was ranging about that midfield like he fucking totally owned the place. Like.
But we should have been man-mapping their best players. It's like we went out saying, let them worry about us. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? It was like fucking... It was amateur type football. It was. And the fact that Rodgers didn't make any tactical changes, I mean, I'm not even saying bring on subs, but fucking put people in different positions in the park and tell them to fucking rein it in.
Yep.
And he just didn't do it.
To me, you couldn't have brought on subs. There was nobody really of a better standard. You would have had, that's my point, you take your best player.
Could have brought on Tati.
No, you couldn't have, not to do that job. That's not Hatate's role. And Bernardo's the fucking same. It's not his role either. They don't play that type of football. They want to get forward and fucking tippy-tappy and all that shit. Whereas we had no player to come on and lock up the game.
Look McCowan.
Yeah.
But McCowan's the same, Jason. We have all
but he's got a bit of dig in him.
No, but with all these forward-thinking players, that's not what we needed for that night. That night we needed to shut up shop and go, right, we're 2-1 down. We're not giving away any more. And it was just mental. You can't just keep throwing on forward players and going, right.
See what you were saying earlier. See what you said about changing it up. See if you had, just thinking about it there, see if you had McCowan kind of left side of the midfield, Hatate right side, and then Bernardo, McGregor, and Engels in the middle, and made that really compact. That's a solid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could put Maida up front yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, because let's face it, right? Kyogo, for all the running he does, and he's a great player, if the ball lands at him, he'll put it away and whatever. But Maida, he can play that role up front himself. Does it for fucking Japan, and you could get goals for him, no problem. Playing in the edge of a fucking defender's shoulder and just get through balls, keep it tight in the middle, and they were rubbish at the back, by the way. They're not a great side at the back, but midfield and going forward, they're fucking electric. But they're electric if you let them play like that. And obviously the German and the Bundesliga are fucking wise to them.
Yeah, 100%. The scouting must have been appalling. Unless Brett Rodgers just didn't listen to the scouting reports. I presume we scout these fucking teams. Do you know what I mean?
Here's another devil's advocate question then. So if he plays the same way for all 8 games, and we get pumped 5 off Atlanta, 5 off Villa, and we get 10 points still, and we get into the playoffs. What's people going to be thinking?
Well, you think we're going to get fucking horsed in the playoffs? What do you fucking think?
It's a success. It is a success. And the thing is, our home games. I still think your Club Bruges, and who's the other one?
young boys as well.
Young boys. Leipzig will be tough, but playing at home, I still think we've got a chance. I mean, I think you could set up that way at home against Leipzig, and you could potentially get a result because I don't know. Saying that, it could be working the other way. They'll be dynamiting the counter, but at Celtic Park, it's a different animal, right? And the crowd and stuff like that. You could, but still, I would like to be more compact. When you're playing a team like that, Leipzig will fall into the cat because you've got basically we've got 4 teams that on paper should beat us. You know, Leipzig, Atalanta, Dortmund, and Villa, right?
Yeah.
Villa, I still think we could take something for that. But if we play that way we did against Dortmund, probably no. Unai Emery were there, they could fucking battle us.
Yeah, they'll be qualified by then. That's the good news.
But I still think they could maybe be on the cusp of getting straight through and whatever. You know, there's all that permutation comes into it. They maybe need to win to guarantee top 8 or whatever.
They're a serious team this year, Matt. I missed it the last couple of years. They're really good, man.
No, they are definitely. They've got some quality players. But I mean, your Club Bruges, your young boys. And you're away to Dinamo Zagreb. You could play that way away to Dinamo Zagreb, no problem. You fucking rattle them. You know, they're no a great side. But when you're playing a team like Dortmund, especially when they've got some class players, and it was a fucking disaster. And it's all right saying after the event, but bloody, how naive is he? And just
is it naive when you keep fucking doing it again and again and again?
I don't think it's naive. I just think it's fucking lunatic asylum material.
I think it's stubbornness.
Aye.
Well, we know he's a psycho, don't we? We know that from the first time round.
Allegedly.
Oh, but I mean, like all top sportsmen or whatever have got that element in them anyway, haven't they? You know, Angie's doing the same down in England and getting the same abuse. But he's, I mean, what is the saying? Don't back down, double down, or whatever it is.
But listen, we all know what you've been in jobs where somebody is at a fucking high level and you look at them and you go, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, some of the decisions they make and you go, what the fuck are you doing? We've all seen it. Like, I mean,
to be honest with you, I reckon Ange would do the exact same as Rodgers is doing.
100%. He did do it. He did it against Bodo Glimt.
Aye. But yeah, Bodo Glimt's a bit fucking different. Do you know what I mean? But I reckon he's that kind of headstrong that we don't fucking defend for anybody. But you know, it's that way. I've got my way of playing. I'll let other teams worry about me. Don't you worry. And there comes a time when you say, this just isn't happening, pal. You know, like, it's impossible. You're playing teams that are far superior to us in ability. You're leaving yourself wide open. They're going to exploit it. Make no bones about it.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with that. That's fact. You know, and on the night, maybe the stars align and we fucking, every time we go up the park, we score. And you could have an amazing night that you go and you fucking destroy one of these teams and they just say, I told you so. They could have the fucking worst night of their life or whatever. It could happen. But the likelihood is fucking minimal. 5%. You know, if you're going with the odds, and it's insane as far as I'm concerned. And if we go to Atalanta, who are a better team than Borussia Dortmund in my book, if we go there and play it, I mean, they'll watch that video, right? And they'll fucking say to themselves, they set it up like this, here we fucking go, lads.
Well, Jason, what's going to happen? I mean, we're going to play Aberdeen in a week on Saturday, hopefully get a result and beat them. I cannot see him doing anything different at all, can you?
No, I can't. And I'm getting to the stage that I'll be there in Bergamo and I'll not even be asked going to the game.
No, I know.
Because you're just saying, what's the fucking point? You're going to go up there and get fucking battered off Italian Polish and fucking probably not get any half time in that. By the time you get in, you're 6-1 down. You're fucking. I think I'll just stay in the pub.
I'm just going to grab a beer, but I listened to the last show. Obviously, I wasn't on it. But Joe, how are you feeling about your top 8 prediction now?
Well, It's looking more possible than probable. Let's say that, right? Yeah, no, but here again, I'm looking at this kind of new Champions League structure in a very fucking different way. And some people, I suppose, is like, I mean, yeah, you're gonna get pumped 7-1 off Dortmund, right? But again, that's you then at the kind of top tail part of the fucking structure, right? I suppose the lessons that you have to learn are is how to navigate that and still maintain playing as the team you want to play, right? Now, Brendan Rodgers isn't going to be capable of doing that, I don't think, right? So we're going to have to be lucky. Like sometimes we've had to be lucky in Europe down the fucking years to get anywhere, right? But I would love if we could have a Brendan Rodgers style of motivation and style of team fucking kind of togetherness and the ability to build that team and you know and make it gel and get it all going and fucking electrify it, right? And sprinkle in a wee bit of Strachan and a wee bit of Lennon for the European cautiousness, because they knew how to fucking do it. Like they knew how to at least set up a team to absorb really fucking good teams and fucking like kind of play on the counter attack to the best of their ability and take the chances that came towards them. Whereas Brendan Rodgers thinks if we play our game, we might just dominate this other team, and you're never going to dominate a team like Dortmund. You're never going to dominate a player like fucking Adeyemi or like guys like that. Brand. That's just different stratosphere level of football players.
See on that point, right? If you take away the Barcelona game, and if you remember the Barcelona game, Miku played up front because we were missing about 2 or 3 of our first team players for that game. But I don't think Strachan or Lennon changed too much from what they did week to week. I think they just had more conservative teams compared to what Rodgers and Ange do.
I was thinking about that there, Liam, right? They definitely did, right? They definitely played a more defensive style. But as Marty said, you guys like Victor Wanyama and that other sit in that role. What I would say is the team we've got now is far superior to their team. Our team would beat their team. I've no doubt about that. I think the team we've got now is far superior, but it's very, very, very attack-minded. But the thing is, these are good football players. They're good. They could adapt. You know, these guys could play a different way.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't agree with like because I play this way every week on Saturday, then I have to play that way midweek. And it's like if we had a very competitive league. Right, if say Celtic had parachuted into the English Premiership, you couldn't. You obviously you would sign different players and you would have more of a variety of the way you're playing, but you could not go into the English Premiership playing like that every week and get a result. You would fit. I think Celtic would beat a load of English Premiership teams playing like that because some of them are dug meat, but the top teams would absolutely rip us a new arsehole constantly. And I just feel it's so you're basically throwing away any opportunity to get anything for these games by setting up like that, unless you've got a massive bit of fortune.
But go on, mate, carry on. Sorry.
No. But you look at Dortmund, 2 of their goals were penalties, right? So from that point of view, that's a killer, right? And the second penalty was totally unlucky. He's not meant to kick his foot or anything. The first penalty, you're kind of thanking your lucky stars that they changed that rule because Kasper Schmeichel would have been off the park and it would have been 21. Do you know what I mean? So it's.
Could you hear? Bain's only after letting 2 goals in against fucking Sligo. Could you imagine?
Here, I watched it, but that Sligo looked decent.
Yeah,
they are decent, but for fuck's sake, come on.
Louis Palmer scored 2 injury time goals to win the game.
2 90-minute goals. What the fuck?
Did he?
Yeah.
But here, while I seen the fucking stadium, Jason, he was diving for penalties in the ring. What a wanker.
Listen, so Brendan Rodgers has just won in Europe, right? So we can.
This is the day that we went away.
This is the day.
as a proud Slagwegian, I think we did the business. Go on, that better end.
So what I was going to say there, Jason, was, you know, when I asked the last question about if we get 10 points playing the same way, what will people think? And it'll be a success if we get in the playoffs, absolutely. But if he carries on doing that, then it doesn't really matter who we play in the playoffs. If it's over 2 legs, we're going to get battered, aren't we?
Well, here's the funny thing. Because it's 2 legs, then no necessarily because, well, probably because the away leg will probably get absolutely scudded. But the home leg, if we play like that at home with the crowd behind us, and I'm getting to, so Dortmund are a top class team, right? I know they're not doing it in the Bundesliga at the minute, but as you say, Champions League finalists, and they were definitely lucky to get by PSG. But if you're doing that against an Arsenal, I would say an Arsenal, a Man City, a Real Madrid, a Dortmund, like that type team, then you're not beating them in 2 legs playing like that. Not a chance.
Yeah,
the kind of second tier type teams, because when you even look at your Villa with Unai Emery as a manager, even if we play the best of their ability and he's beaten us over 2 legs because the way he's no daft, and he know that we would come with all the gumption at Celtic Park and whatever, and they would get out of there at least with a draw, maybe lose with 1 goal, and they could pick us off at Villa Park probably. But I was getting kind of carried away, and I'm saying, look, we could beat Villa because I always think Scottish teams against English teams would do pretty well, but that's knocked the wind out my sails the way Rodgers set them up out there. And I'm not really expecting too much. I'm still hopeful that we'll qualify to the qualifying round, not in the top 8. But I can't see much.
Jason, to be honest, right, Villa's a serious team, right? But Villa have plenty of off days. They're not a Man City or that sort of level.
No. That's what I'm saying. They're like a second tier for me.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
Yeah. But their manager's top level.
Aye, he is, and he's a wily old fox, and he's not even that old, but he knows the script. He's top manager. But Atalanta, they've lost some of their players, etc. But I can see them. You seen them in that final last year in Dublin. Fucking hell, they absolutely destroyed that Leverkusen. You know, and they were by miles the best team in Germany domestically.
Yeah.
And they destroyed them in the final. So make no mistake about it, we're going out to Italy in 2 weeks to play a top class side. And I know they're not the household team in Italian standards, but they're a top quality outfit. So I'm not seeing much.
Yeah, that's been the annoying thing because Dortmund are a great team on their day, but when the draw came out, I wasn't expecting any 4 or 5s or 6s or 7s.
I was thinking we'd get beat 3-1.
Yeah.
And then when it started opening up, I'm like, it'll be 4-2, 5-3. I think we'll get a few more goals. And because I didn't think they were good at the back either, but just how wide open we left ourselves. And do you know what? I thought Scales played well. You know, I did. I thought he played all right, but there was too many. We gave the ball away too easy. And this is my thought process. See how Rodgers says we'll learn from it. I don't think he thinks he would learn from it because he needs to change the shape or change the mentality going into that game. I think he thinks by learning we need to pass the ball better and we need to be better on the ball. And I don't think that's really.
Well, it is a part of it, isn't it? I mean, right. you need to be able to if you can keep possession and for spells of the game and kill it down. That is a big difference in these games.
It is right, but can you do you think they were deliberately trying to be not good on the ball?
No,
I think it was a victim of Dortmund pressing us constantly and harrying us and not giving us any time whatsoever on the ball. So we were just fucking trying to get rid of it quick and making the wrong pass and just players that aren't good enough at that level.
it's not an excuse. It's just when you're playing against teams domestically, and then you come up against a Dortmund who are faster, more physical, quicker, anticipate things better. I think you can get caught out a little bit like that because the things you get away with domestically, you are going up a level, and I think that will catch players out, and you make a mistake, and before you know it, it's down the other end in the back of the net. It's a big difference from playing what we experienced domestically, I think.
Oh, it totally is. I mean, that's been the age-old problem. We're playing in a league where the standard is shocking compared to when you're playing in Europe. You're not getting tested. And when you look back at the times when that mobs went deep in, obviously it's Europa League, it's not the Champions League. And when we went deep in, we got to the last 16 of the Champions League, when we got to the UEFA Cup final, etc., they've always had a good side. So you've at least had 4 games a season where you're playing like a top-class side. And they were the same when they were playing us. So that's them getting a bit of what can be waiting for them. Yeah. Whereas...
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, on you go.
Oh, carry on, mate. Finish off, sorry, I was jumping in there.
No, whereas at the minute, they're kind of shite and we're not really getting any fucking opportunity. But you would hope the way Aberdeen have started the season, maybe that will be a game that we could...
Yeah.
But you're playing at home, so you're not really... See if we were going to Pittodrie the week before we went to Atalanta, the way they've started the season, you could maybe use that as your blueprint for going to Atalanta, although it's in a far lesser level. But it's very, very difficult. I mean, these English teams, they're getting into Europe and they're getting tested like that week in, week out, mostly. And then they're getting into Europe and it's not too much different to what they're facing in a domestic league. But
that's what I was going to say. Like with Rangers, that they play quite a different game to us, don't they? They're quite a compact team, long ball.
It leads to more success in Europe, without a doubt.
It does, but non domestically for them.
No, it doesn't.
And despite how I feel about Europe, you wouldn't swap it round that way. But there's a balance in. There's got to be a balance in the middle somewhere, isn't there? A sensible balance,
Right.
But I'm not.
I mean, then see. The attitude that we only worry about us and we don't worry about them, right? In Scottish football, we get away with that because we're better than every other team. So we don't really need to worry about them to a certain extent. I mean, you obviously need to watch their games and stuff like that, you know where their weak points is. But that's just whether you beat them 3-0 or 5-0. But when you're playing in Europe, we need to worry about the other team and we need to set up accordingly, I think. Because it's them that's going to be dictating the play. We're not going to have as much of the ball. So you need to make sure when you've not got the ball, you're in the right position. And you need to... I mean, here's the thing, right? I've been thinking about this a lot, right? And I don't mean Jose Mourinho at present, right? But would you give up watching a Celtic team like under Brendan Rodgers or under Ange before domestically to get a Jose Mourinho as the manager, whereas you would win games 1-0 and 2-0, you would still win the league, but it would be absolutely boring as fuck. But when you went into Europe, you could compete because that's the pragmatism of a guy like him. Do you know what I mean? He could. I don't think nowadays. I think his time's passed. But a manager of his ilk that would use his brain to say, right, I mean, the Inter Milan man, Mourinho was a manager in Inter Milan?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
I remember he trained them and they trained without the ball. You know, they went to Real Madrid, they didn't want the ball because they lost their shape. So stuff like that.
It's a good question, Jace. It's a really good question. I know, obviously, we've had people talk about, I don't know, I shouldn't probably mention this in the same breath, but like Steve Clarke, for example, right, when he's been mentioned in the past, and you think, he's a manager who showed he can get results against better teams at Kilmarnock and Scotland to another degree, and but fucking how boring would it be week to week? You know what I mean? Watching his kind of style of play where you're the biggest team in the league that you're playing, but I I think Mourinho is maybe too extreme on the other end of the scale, but there must be more pragmatic managers out there that can do. Well, there are obviously that can do a bit of both. Like your Eddie Howe's or Graham Potter, them type of managers that can kind of mix it up a lot more than what we see now. And I was kind of thinking of it the other way there when you were, what you were quoting some of the things that Rodgers said, and we talked about Ange, and you remember Bielsa, how good Bielsa was at Athletic Club, and but he was. From what I saw, was he the same? Was he very much like who played the same way all the time, or was he more adaptable?
No. He wasn't playing the same. He was all about the work ethic.
Right,
and he's like he basically ran his guys into the ground, and it was all about work ethic, closing down, and you never stopped. Like kind of Rodgers does some similarities, but Bielsa was all about you move as a team, and it's like you defend as a team, you attack as a team, but it was the 100% work ethic everyone in the team. And by the time Athletic got towards the end of the season, every player was dead on their feet because they just gave 150% every game.
Right.
But Bielsa, genius, he's he's like an old man now as well, and it's but if you talk to an Athletic Club fan of our age group, he's their favourite ever manager.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And they didn't win anything.
I'm trying to think of examples of other managers that have been like Rodgers and Big Ange that have had this, one way only mentality sort of thing. I mean, like Barcelona under Guardiola that way, and so Man City. But when you've got the best players in the world, you can do that. Right? You can be that way.
Right, it's totally easy. It's managers that have to. You look at your Brian Cloughs and stuff like that, but you're going back. It's a different era, so it's very, very hard to tell. But guys like Brian Clough, Jock Stein, etc., geniuses, because but it was a totally different era because you were going to Europe and these teams weren't that much better than you because they were playing in their domestic league and there was only 6 games in Europe or whatever, or 6 ties or 5 ties, to get to a final, and it was a new experience. So you had a way of playing, they had a way of playing. You had to just combat their way of playing.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't have all the video technology they've got now, but and everybody's fit as fuck now. I mean, we were as fit as Borussia Dortmund, but they were just better on the ball. They were just better at moving the ball. We were fucked at the end of the game, but chasing shadows. But it's just because I think if you're far more compact and you don't let them come through you, and you're using up less energy as well, because if you're compact and whatever, you can clear the ball. But you need a bit of luck as well, because you're giving them more possession, they've got more time in the ball, etc. Blah blah blah.
I've obviously been at the game, right? So you've had a few beers. I was right at the back of the stadium, even though I had a ticket for the standing section because it was just a fucking free for all in our bits. And people were coming in from all angles, couldn't even get up the steps to get in the standing section. So you don't comprehend or take the game in the same way, do you, when you're there? Especially when you're starting to get pumped. But so was it? I just saw that Scott had put in the chat there that that's the best Borussia Dortmund have been by a mile this season. So was it just we made it so easy for them, or we were so bad with our mistakes, or a bit of both, really?
It was a bit of both. We gave the ball to them so many times. Taylor was culpable quite a few times, and there was loads of times when we'd let a simple pass and we'd just pass it, and we were passing it to our players who were maybe 12 feet away and try to roll it to them, and they were just nipping and getting it. When they were passing it, they were drilling it to the guy, and it was under control, and then they were turning and they were on us. And it was more of the fact that man Brandt in the middle of the park just walks through our midfield at every turn. He didn't, and then he just sprayed the ball about. What I would say is every shot that they had was on point. They hardly had anything by the post. It was fucking the amount of, I don't even know the stats, but the amount of shots on target they must have had was fucking wild. Some of the goals they scored was outstanding, and 2 penalties. So there was a load of mitigating circumstances that made the score worse than it was.
See, we consider, right, there's 2 penalties, right? There's a hat trick from Adeyemi right now. Fair enough, his first goal was deflected, right? But the other two, fuck me.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's maybe lad loves him because he plays Ultimate Team. And fucking here, actually, by the way, fucking he challenged Joe to a game and then he shot it.
Joe shot it, or he shot it?
No, he shot it. Oh, Joe sent the picture of his tape. I showed him and he goes, "Oh, fuck that. No, fuck that." But anyway, he was going at him. He's amazing. I was like, man, I don't really fucking know. But watching that guy, see those 2 goals, it's like there's a rocket in that guy's fucking foot. The way he hits a fucking football is unbelievable.
I think what I do remember from the game that stood out was how easy they seemed to break our press. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we do press from the front, but it seemed to be like 1 or 2 passes, and suddenly it was like 6 on 4 or whatever. We seemed to be completely outnumbered at the back.
Yeah. No, it was just fucking shocking, mate. It was like so bad. And Trusty looked like an absolute hardy, but he was to get no protection. McGregor was terrible.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like there was Engels. He didn't even look as if he was on the park. He took him off and wouldn't made any difference. Yeah. And just Maeda and Scales to me get pass marks. Maybe Casper Schmeichel. The rest.
But Scales. No?
That's what I said, Maeda and Scales.
Oh, sorry.
Maeda was excellent, you know, like, but he actually cost us 2 of the goals. It was him that fucking daft passes, no looking the right way and whatever. Next thing they're just nipping in, but they were great, you know. Take nothing away from them. They were well worth the victory, fucking well worth the victory. But we made it easy for them, and we just everything about us was just wrong.
All right, but am I right in thinking, like, my recollection was that, like, either our passes were sloppy or they were just that bit quicker on everything?
I think by both, Joe.
All right, column A, column B, I suppose. All right.
I think it was a bit of both, but they were on point. You know, anytime we dillied in the ball or whatever, and they were just right in there and nipping in. And once they done it, they were all fucking attacking at fucking force, and it was just, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. It was just an absolute shambles. It was a lot worse than Atletico Madrid, Liam, because obviously we went down to 10 men in Madrid and we fucked off at half time there and all. But it's like Atletico Madrid, you felt as they weren't as clinical as Dortmund or that. They didn't have like Dortmund could have scored another 7 goals.
Yeah. I didn't see any of the second. I didn't see anything in the second half whatsoever, and I still haven't seen any of it. Did we have any chances at all?
We had about 3 or 4 chances.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But what I would say is they made like 4 subs, right? And then when they made the 4 subs, there was a lull for about 6 minutes, and then they scored a worldly. And then there was another bit of a lull, and you're saying, thank fuck they made these subs, because see if they kept the fucking first team on. Oh my God. But then the subs started getting a fucking a groove on, and then it was, oh, Jesus Christ. But shambolic, the lot of it.
Yeah, but it was horrible to watch. Like, I mean, who was it? Somebody in the chat says one of the pubs turned it off and decided to put on Iran bombing fucking Israel.
And by the way, while we're on it, a good mate of mine, Peck, I take it you've seen the videos. Peck had a Palestinian flag, the Notre Dame memorial. Do you know what they done to him? He'd paid for executive tickets. So he's in that bit, and they've got the flag up, and the next thing they've come down and grabbed him. They grabbed a wee guy as well, that nothing to do with the 2 of them. It was him and a guy, Richie, for the club. And fucking this wee guy's getting hauled out as well. He's like, I don't even know they 2. And they've dragged him out, and they're like, right, €450 fine, Rich. He's like, I'm not paying fuck off, I've not got any money, can't I fucking? So I don't think he got in. So I think Peck says, right, I'll pay it. I'm getting this second hand, but I think it's true. He says, I'll pay it. Paid the money. And he says, if I pay it, I'll get back in. I get back in. Paid the money and fucked him out. 3 minutes we seen it again. Bastards, paid about €300 or whatever for his ticket.
And it's because the flag said from the river to the sea. Is that what it was?
But I think so. I believe so.
It kind of sounds like bullshit too.
I think it was on the bottom of the flag, was it not?
I know. I seen the flag, but it kind of sounds like a bullshit excuse to fucking do what they did to him for the video.
Oh, aye, but they were looking for that writing in the bottom. You could actually see it. See if you watch the video again. They've got the flag up and they're looking for the writing, and they found it and they're pointing it. It was that.
I see them Dortmund fucking scumbags. For anybody who has a fucking one of these relationships like we had with St. Pauli, they fucking booed the fuck out of the Green Brigade when the Green Brigade did the Palestinian protest at the start of the game when they had the flares. And also this week they were waxing fucking lyrical about some fucking Israeli cunt Dortmund fan who'd been killed over the past fucking year. When the day before a Dortmund fan was blew to fuck in Gaza and they never opened their fucking mouths about it. So fuck Dortmund. Wankers. Arm seals cunts.
Are you trying to make Scott more sad?
No, I don't even think Scott's listening, and I think he's fucking discretion's been the better part of valor.
What incredible, Marty, how they are over there.
I know, but listen, double dip genociders, they'll just love the old genocide. They're fucking well into it, the cunts.
It's incredible.
See, the thing is, I was listening to your man, I don't know if it was McWilliams or no, or maybe an Al Jazeera podcast, they were actually saying I think it was actually McWilliams who said that, so the biggest importers of goods from Israel is the European Union. And he said that the way to really hurt them is by stopping importing their goods. And he says that will never happen because of Germany. So the European Union basically holds the key to basically drive Israel's economy into the dirt. But because Germany holds all the aces with the European Union,
listen, there's more than one way to skin a fucking cat. Their economies are already in the toilet. The fucking credit rating organisations have them rated alongside Bulgaria.
No, I get that. But I'm talking about actually cash in hand. Export goods. They're still exporting goods, and the biggest importer of their goods is the European Union. And obviously it's voted at a board level, and Germany's got the biggest vote. In France, are coming out making moves about it, saying they want this to stop, but nobody's fucking doing anything.
Nah, fuck off. You look at that fucking Lidl. If you've gone to Lidl, look at the amount of fucking Israeli stuff for sale in Lidl. Loopy-loo, all their fucking baby gear. Don't buy any baby gear out of fucking... See your fucking baby wipes and all. They're all made in Israel. See Home Bargains and fucking B&M Bargains. See all their fucking wipes and all their sanitary stuff, all their fucking like household stuff. It's all made in Israel. All of it. Black by fucking black. Don't buy any of it. Fuck them. Absolutely fuck them. Their economy's already fucked. There's their migration is up 3 fucking fold on 2 years. Their young people are getting the fuck out. All the TikTok bros who went over there thinking it would be like a Silicon Valley fucking land of milk and honey, all of a sudden they're staring down these maniacs from Hezbollah who are fucking taking them out by the root all week. They've met their fucking match there. They haven't got 400 yards away from their own border because Hezbollah are fucking hammering them. 200 missiles was fired today from fucking Lebanon into Israel. Their economy's fucked. Absolutely fucked. The whole world can see what they did. So they can. And young people are the key here because young people are on TikTok and whatever the fuck else, Discord, and seeing firsthand without a filter what they've been up to.
That's a year they've been getting away with absolute genocide. And
they'll get it, and they'll get away with it for another year, Jason. But here's the fucking thing: it's not those who inflict the most, but those who endure the most that will win. And this is like the rhythm of time being played out in front of us. There's a long, long way to go here. So there is a long, long way to go. But anyway, that's my fucking pro-Palestinian rant for the night.
God bless you.
That is well said, Martin. Well said.
Well said, man.
So
where were we? Ross County?
We were here.
So Ross County.
Hold on.
So
get out of jail. Get out of jail. Get out of Ross.
So here's the thing. Liam, you didn't go, didn't you know?
I got 2 tickets for the first time ever and didn't end up going.
I didn't go. So, do you know what? Fucking, I didn't even see the first half. I was on HomeBhoys with her mom getting her paint. She's getting her house painted on Thursday. Oh my fucking God. That was an endurance test. She took her a pillowcase with this shade of green and said to the woman, can you make it a wee bit lighter than that? I don't want that colour. I want a light. Woman says, there's loads of colours up there, but 2,000 colours, you just pick one and they'll make the paint up for you, that colour. See, I want it a wee bit lighter than that, but I'm not sure any of them suit that. You get fucking 2,000 colours in them, fucking pick one of them. And the game started, oh, fucking, he was on Mars. So I made it to King Lud for the second half, and you know, everything was going through my head, right? Obviously, we're getting fucking beat, and you're just like, I've no players lost confidence with Rodgers because the way he sent them out in Germany, and they're going, man, he's not got a fucking clue. I had implosion in my head at fucking all sorts, and then we turned it round and won, as you do. And so I can't really comment the first half. I was listening to the radio, watching wee bits here and there, but I had to make the substitutions because obviously it wasn't working. And once they made the substitutions, it was a matter of time. And Nicholas Kuhn, domestically, he's been fucking unbelievable this season.
Yeah.
Just, guy's been a revelation. What a fucking player he is. You know, and you feel bad when you're talking about the Dortmund game because he was kind of ineffective and didn't do much, but I think it was a victim of the way the team was set up. It was just a shambles. But that boy's been absolutely amazing. And I thought McGregor was good towards the end, and Alistair Johnson getting the goal, very lucky, but I think he kind of meant it, you know, he stuck his leg out or whatever, and it hit half him, but great to get the win, because you just know the tellies and fucking Ibrox fucking vicinity with them getting in left, right and centre. I talked to wee Blue Nose at the work, right, and he was there in Malmo, so he proper goes to the games. He was actually there on Sunday night, and he's like, fucking what a time you go to a game. But he just said to me, he says, it was 10 minutes to go. He says, we all knew what was happening. And I was like, you fucking beauty. Because he says, I knew. He says, 100%, you were scoring 2 goals. I was like, that's good. So, kind of restored a bit of my faith. Domestically, I've no complaints with Rodgers whatsoever. You know, it's a treat to watch. It's absolutely brilliant to watch. But just when you go into the European stage, it's just it pisses you off. But that's what it is.
I've revised my projections, I suppose. I mean, I think a playoff in the new year would be amazing.
I had a chuckle, Joe, when I listened to that, I got to say.
What was that? What was your projections, Joe?
That we'd be in the top 8.
All right, when was I on the show? No,
I wasn't on. I listened back to it.
No, you weren't on. I think no.
Obviously, you can see my listening skills.
Also, I wasn't traumatized by a torrent of abuse, so therefore you weren't on the show.
I've let you have it, right? You got off scot free with me, pal.
I barely spoke, for fuck's sake.
There's time yet.
Yeah, I watched the game. Obviously, I did the 10K on Sunday, the Great North Run or whatever it was. My niece and nephew had come up to run for my mum, which was amazing. Did the half marathon on Sunday, so it was a really good day, quite an emotional day in a good way. So I just went to Lynch's. I did the run quite early. Got home, got changed back in, went to Lynch's right on kick-off. First half was terrible, really. Just one of them games where we weren't really looking like scoring at all. No issue with the penalty. Thought he'd saved it, but he was about a mile off his line when you see the replay, and then score from there. But I just felt confident all along, even as bad as we played in the first half. It's a ground that we've got a lot of success on, and a team that you can kind of trust in. And like you said, he made made the substitutions quite quick, Jason, with conviction. Do you know what I mean? He got the players on and seemed to make all the difference in the game. So I went at half time and met my niece and nephew off at the end of their run, then pulled them into Lynch's. They could barely even speak, never mind stand up, and just fired some pints down them while we watched the end of the game, and then got the winning goal. So that was brilliant. That was a good way to finish the game off. But yeah, I think you guys got to give the players credit. Do you know what I mean? It's like you said, if you take out the Dortmund game, we've been outstanding domestically. We've won every game, conceded one first goal in the league in the 7th game, played some incredible football. And you're always going to have these sticky, shitty games. And I know it's a cliche, but just getting them done, getting them won when you're not at your best or anywhere near your best is why we are who we are and why we're the champions all the time.
I know.
All right, so I mean, I think we've lifted a certain level of doom and gloom there. I mean, I wish Scott was here to appreciate the fucking levity. I mean, but he's not. He wants to dwell. He wants to dwell.
Listen, Scott's better off than the rest of us. At least one of his teams won in Dortmund, for fuck's sake.
Hope your team wins, Scott. Oh,
I'd be interested to hear his thought. No, just the whole lot. Obviously, it would be a big day for Scott, meeting his pals and all the boys over there and whatever. And it was a great atmosphere there. Everyone was really welcoming, to us. No bother at all. So I enjoyed it as much as I could, obviously until the kickoff. But obviously, it must be quite a good experience for Scott as well, having both sets of pals over there until the game started as well.
I know what it's. You've got to think before the game. It's like, hey, Scott. After the game, it's like, oh, Scott. Oh.
Yeah. But obviously Scott. He's going to be wanting Scott to go out there and put a show on. Do you know what I mean?
They definitely put a show on. Definitely, but it's not the kind of a fucking donkey show that they put on. They got fucking bent over a table and fucking taken care of. Do you know what?
See, to be honest with you, now look, see if Celtic played Everton in a competitive game, I would fucking hate it. I'd probably not go. See, like fucking because.
But they played Athletic. No, have they? No, that's friendly.
No.
Athletic.
We've played Celtic. See, I'd go to Athletic Club because that would be dead friendly and it'd be a fucking carnival atmosphere. They would fucking welcome us with open arms. It'd be fucking proper. And if they win, you'd say well done. If we win, they would say well done. Blah blah blah. You played Everton, it wouldn't be like that. Fucking all my mates and that. We'd be welcoming all the boozers.
Get it up there, laugh. Fucking get it up there.
I know, but I'd fucking hate it. Fucking a chance it would kick off and stuff like that. I'd be like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. You can imagine how I feel about Villa, Jason.
Fucking J-Bo barred at the brick.
I can understand, Liam. You'll be seriously worried about this.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about it too much. Everyone else is buzzing for it. I'm like, I don't even want to think about it just yet.
You can see it far enough, couldn't you?
Yeah, nearer the time. But I think just for a number of reasons, I think it'll be sticky as fuck for tickets as well. I mean, every man and his dog seems to be going down, and I think it'd be tough to get the tickets and stuff. So,
well, we're there's a squad of us, I think, going, and I think what the plan is, get in early and then head to Smethwick. That's what I fancy. I've said to all the boys, I know loads of boozers about there.
Yeah.
We'll head there and just get a curry and just sit in the boozer and get bellied up. Just get taxis to go because Smethwick's close to Villa Park.
I wouldn't say close. It's not miles away, but
it's close enough.
Yeah,
West Brom's the nearest ground to Villa Park.
Yeah, true enough. It's not too far.
Right. And if we drink about there, there's not going to be any Villa fans cutting about or anything like that. It's going to be fine. Do you know what I mean?
And I think Celtic can place themselves in Digbeth, Jason, from what I'm seeing. So,
but I'll not be. That'd be madness.
No. The boozers there open from 10 o'clock till 2 in the morning.
Aye. I'll be staying well clear of there.
We've got Norton's booked out, Hennessy's booked out, and then a few other places, like 2,000 or 3,000 tickets sold from already, I think. So I'll be wild over there. Wild.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
And you're miles away from Villa Park as well.
Yeah, because it's not easy. I was talking to Michael about this as well, Michael Fallon. It's not easy to get. Like, you have to go into town to get a train back out of town towards Villa, so it's not. There's no easy way to get across from Digbeth.
You can walk into town in 20 minutes for there.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? You get a train, but that's where the carnage will happen.
Exactly that. Exactly
you know
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
So if we're in Digbeth, you're out the road. You're getting a taxi in for the other side. You just get a taxi to the ground, just get into the game. You're fine.
Yeah, and as good as Birmingham is as a city centre, it's not. You know yourself. It's not massive. There's not like hundreds of boozers there, like Liverpool, for example, where you could just do a pub crawl. The city centre's a bit odd like that.
But you know yourself, there's like 3 different areas of the city centre. You know, they're not all together. If you're like near New Street, you've got about 30 pubs or 20 pubs within walking distance. But you go to other areas of the city centre, do you know, at the back where we've been to before, you know, there's a couple of areas further out.
Yeah.
You can go to as well. So it's if you're a Celtic fan, you're better off just thinking about Digbeth, get back on your bus, go to the game, because if you're wondering about that city centre, it could be carnage.
Yeah. Digbeth, or I think Broad Street, maybe the people will pitch up there as well, I reckon. Yeah, so wait and see. Wait and see what happens.
We've been joined by Scott McCory.
Hey!
There he's there.
You shouted me. I thought I'd come and speak to you.
There you go.
Man, how are you?
You sound like you're hiding under the covers.
No, I'm Joe. Honestly, every time I go out for a proper session, I seem to fucking catch the scabies, and I've been fucked for a fucking week, man. I was thinking this hangover's taking a bit to clear, but fucking. Aye, I'm not feeling fucking great health, and I've been listening to you guys. And
we had this chat earlier on again. Ambitions and capabilities. You got to rearrange them.
Aye. No, I'm not giving up though.
I'll die fighting.
Fucking right, man. If J-Bo can still do it at his age, I can do it at my age.
He's an anomaly. Hey, Scott, please do not compare yourself to a man with the constitution of Jason Higgins. He is an anomaly. He's a physical anomaly. There's a reason I call him the weirdo of Wishaw. It's not because of his character. It's because of his fucking. It's because of his ability to be who he is.
Anyway, what you wanting?
We're wanting to hear how you got on and why you appear to have been, hemorrhaged away in fucking Celtic sphere, hiding and being upset.
Honestly, Joe, man, just as you said, I mean, you can sense the anger in everybody you listen to. I mean, there was a fella on the flight from Dortmund to London. And he's showing me the stats, and he's going, I couldn't believe it. I knew it was coming, and then he said to me, "It's just one of these nights." And I was like, "Mate, go fuck yourself, eh? Just one of these fucking nights. We fucking skated off Real Madrid, we skated off Atletico Madrid, we skated off Barcelona, skated off Paris. It's not just one of these nights if it happens every fucking season." It was. I thought it was just frankly embarrassing. What Liam says about, I've been in the standing section yellow walk, and generally you're bevving, and the game's kind of secondary. So I'm in the standing section at Celtic end, and as Liam says, everybody just squeezing in. So you're saying fuck all. I mean, like, I saw your goal go in, and then in terms of their goals, you're looking down. You can see them running, and it just seemed my head's all in the shop, but I thought it was embarrassing as fuck. I thought
it was absolutely embarrassing. Sorry, Scott.
No, exactly like you said, Jason. We sat here before, right? And I've encouraged Celtic fans to get carried away. In the same way, I would encourage Aberdeen fans to get carried away. Do you know what I mean? Because we're football fans. Enjoy the good times and enjoy the things. However, knowing what Borussia Dortmund can do, I wouldn't say I was confident, but I was confident that we'd grown and we had a team to compete. We might not win, but we can compete. It'll be a game of football, and it wasn't. It was embarrassing. It was frank. I understand when you see the team, you maybe kind of go, it's a bit there, but why not? Why fucking not? We look like a proper football team now, but it's the failure to stop. It's the failure to stop, readdress the situation. I mean, this is what we have convinced ourselves that Brendan Rodgers is a top level operator, and if this keeps happening, then it's not the case. You guys played football. I don't know what levels you played at. However, you didn't need your manager. See if you're playing against a team, amateur football, junior football, professional football. If you're playing football against somebody and they score 2 quick goals, it's up to you on the pitch to stop the stem, to stop it. It's not up to Brendan Rodgers, it's up to the players. And then it's up to him to do something to rectify it. Jose Mourinho, you were talking about, Jose Mourinho spoke about Italian football. He says, Italian football is the most tactical football ever known because the guy on the side is changing everything every second. That flies in the face to what Brendan Rodgers has said since. No. It goes back to him. Borussia Dortmund himself had a manager called Peter Bosz, and his plan was plan A, and if plan A doesn't work, we just do plan A better, and it ended up biting him in the ass. We're not as good a team as Borussia Dortmund. However, we're not as bad a team as 7-1 after Borussia Dortmund is. And Brendan Rodgers deserves huge amount of criticisms about it. Is it to say we throw him in the water and we fucking try and start again? Absolutely not. I think it's a good team. But there has to be a point where you kind of point fingers at every failing element. Brendan Rodgers has been in the Champions League many times. We had 4, and every season we've had one of these. You know what I mean? Mitigating factors, maybe, but we've had one. Where's the learning on his side? Then you come to guys like Callum McGregor and say, is Callum McGregor big enough to win that midfield? I mean, every chance a guy I'm not a great fan of. He looked like a fucking masterful powerhouse against our midfield. It was wild. Our midfield were pushed and they broke against Borussia Dortmund. Is it their fault? Totally. No, it's not, but they've got to do better. It was a monumental failure on the whole club. And as you said, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed with my mates because you're going there thinking, right, we'll give you a game. We spoke before, did you want Borussia Dortmund? I said it last show, as Jason just touched on there. I don't want to play Borussia Dortmund. I don't want to get embarrassed. I don't want my teams to play each other and this shit to happen. But up until 9 o'clock on Tuesday, I had a fucking great time. I was with good friends. As every European game, you meet some people, you meet some listeners after the show who were looking for you boys and all that. It was all great. I went up to Zum's owner, as Liam spoke about, and I met some people I've known for years. And my good pal Flo stood with me the whole time, walked me up, took me into the Borussia Dortmund bar at the back. We had a good few drinks, we got a good few photos. He took me around my section. I went in, and then it just all goes right. And it was fucking good. It was so, and it did take. I mean, you're kind of going to Ross County, and I never went either, guys. Right, I had a ticket, and basically I felt like shite. The Wayne's football, and I was still sick as a fucking parrot. And the game itself, aside from the 3 points done, nothing to kind of ease me on the edge. It's the first time I'm pretty happy that international breaks here. But I'm sorry for being doom and gloom, Jibo. I'm
Scott, see the thing that was most embarrassing bit for me, and I forgot to even mention it earlier. See, after they went 3-1 up, they were hardly even celebrating when they scored. And I was like, fucking hell, this is so embarrassing. The camera was panning out of them, and they're all just clapping. And you're like, oh, fucking hell, this is like fucking playing a junior team here. and we were like a junior team against them. We were
Yeah,
fucking clueless.
But I don't think we are that bad a team. But
I think they're a good side. If they just set up wrong and just
Uh,
fucking the wrong mindset and whatever.
it was definitely well. We did. But again, when's he going to learn? When's he going to learn? Good
I
team.
don't think he ever will.
Good
I don't
teams
think.
need to be. I think it was you who said there. We've got to learn for it. And it was almost, and rather than when you said, it was almost he's saying to the players, "Yous all need to learn for this. Yous all need to get better." Rather than,
You need to be a better football player.
yeah.
That's impossible.
Rather than looking in the mirror and kind of going, right, what could I have done? How could I have kept it tight? How could I? I mean, Borussia Dortmund themselves, you see the attacking team they've got. See in Europe, they play different. They play a different game. They done it last season in the Champions League. That's how they got to the final, albeit under a different manager. But the current manager, Nuri Sahin, was the assistant manager during that. He helped that. So if a club like Borussia Dortmund are willing to fucking almost change, who the fuck do we think we are?
Exactly.
The Atalanta game is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
100%.
It's giving me the heebie-jeebies. I don't think it's out of this world that we can go and perform. And I think if we do, it fucking raises everybody. I mean, again, but that's what I'm saying. I'd convinced myself we had a team to compete. And now I'm back to doubting it. Now I'm thinking, what do we need to do? I mean, I saw somebody going, basically reverting to pre-Engels and going, we've got 100 million in the bank. Why did we not spend all that? Like, that's a bit mental. But it was, mate, I'm talking to Big Flo the next day. He's came and he's taking the keys off me and he's going, I never enjoyed last night, Scott. I says, I never enjoyed that, wasn't he? And that was for me, do you know what I mean? And I felt like going, fuck off, you know what I mean? But also, see, Marty touched on it, and I have to say, I'm there and I'm meeting my Borussia Dortmund pals, but what Borussia Dortmund's done in the last year and a bit is fucking shameful and makes me ashamed to be even somebody who says it, because he's right what he's saying. See that statement they made the other day? Fucking disgusting, man. And it's not. And the frustrating thing is, it's not our fans. Don't get me wrong, they'll be them, same as every. But see if you try to bring it up to German fans, they don't want to talk about it. It's almost as if their decisions made. It's almost, Jason, that's how I feel. It's almost as if their decisions.
They can't. It's just their inner shame that they can't talk about it.
Yeah. And I mean, the replies that I kind of retweeted a couple of the replies from proper Borussia Dortmund-based Dortmund fans calling their own club out, going, "Yous are fucking disgusting. Yous are, God bless the people." Do you know what I mean? But what Marty says, right? Fuck Borussia Dortmund, fuck them right up the arse, man. Fucking ratbags. And what they done to us last week, fucking fuck them at that and all. Fuck you, Liam, for saying it last week.
I was trying to lighten the mood, Scott, to be fair.
No, fucking scunnered, still scunnered, man. To be honest, still scunnered. Because I don't really know what we do. Because the thing is, we've almost written off Leipzig, and Leipzig have been a better team than Borussia Dortmund for 2 years. You know what I mean? And we've got him after fucking Atlanta. Oh, thing is, honestly, see the next two games, I think it's a case of riding out the storm and then almost resetting and going for it and fucking going for it against Club Brugge, Young Boys, and Dynamo. I think that's your fucking bread and butter, because they might be better than us, but we can beat them.
Yeah, I was just looking at that before you came on there. So I mean, where's Celtic in this? The 20th in this league now, aren't we? 20th, yeah.
Through.
Yeah, but we've got Atalanta and we've got Leipzig back to back there. So Leipzig haven't won a point yet. Neither is AC Milan.
I think they've got Liverpool next, have they?
Right, okay.
Leipzig have played fucking, is it Atletico Madrid and somebody else? It's a bumper team.
I wasn't sure. I'm just looking at the table here, John.
Wait a minute, give 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure Leipzig have got Liverpool next. So there's a good chance that Leipzig come to Glasgow with nothing on board. which makes them fucking dangerous.
Yeah, you're right, Scott.
They're playing Liverpool, so they can be come to Parkhead and see that group that we had: Real Madrid, Leipzig, and who's the other one? Shakhtar. The biggest doing we took, even though Madrid won 3-0, was Leipzig. Leipzig battled us 2-0 and played us half the part. Fucking half the part. And I don't, like I say, I think it's fucking tin helmets on, ride the next two, and then give yourselves a wee kick up the arse and go, right, this is what we're talking about. Let's go and fucking do this one. And you've got 3 games to go and qualify.
Scott, you're 100% right, but the worry is, after what we said earlier, if he plays the same way the next 2 games and we get skited twice, it's going to set everyone back in it a bit, players and fans.
I mean, there is definitely a bit of, what's the word, sympathy for Brendan Rodgers in terms of, I mean, we spoke about it last year. I remember we played, wasn't it Quan? Who did we play? I think it was Awata. We played Awata as a holding midfielder against Hibs at Parkhead, and Callum McGregor was dropping deep, getting the ball and running by him, and then the attacks were running by him, and it was just a waste of a player. Holding midfielders in Scotland just don't work yet. Holding midfielder seems to be the fucking, every time we get doing, we need holding midfielders, and you're kind of going, you need to define what a holding midfielder is, because it's coming to this point that I don't know, is Callum McGregor strong enough to be that central role for us? And I think the world of him, and I know you all think the world of him, but we're at this point where we kind of maybe have to start going, Callum, you're 31, you've been part of every one of these humpings, you know what I mean? But again, it's questions I'm asking, it's no fucking...
Yeah, but then you switch it, Scott, to domestic, and he's the best player in Scotland by a distance. You know.
So you, I don't know. Maybe I've overthought this in my head, because I dare say all 3 use not so much Mark. You know what he's like. But I can imagine we've all went away thinking, what went wrong? How would I fix it? How can the club fix it? How seriously can we fix it? Be it from defence all the way up the pitch, because the Dortmund game was a failure at every level. I mean, Kasper Schmeichel comes out with credit, but he wasn't great. Like going back to that your prediction, Liam, he wasn't winning you points with that. He was saving embarrassment, but he wasn't winning you points. He wasn't like a big Fraser Foster. But you start going. So we know the Trusty thing. Trusty looks rusty. You're missing CCV.
But
I don't think CCV makes a huge difference in that game. The way Julian Brandt, it's funny that everybody's talking about Julian Brandt. Julian Brandt was a guy, see, when they first signed him, he signed him for Bayer Leverkusen, and he bugged the tits out of me for about 2 whole seasons. Fucking infuriating player. And I couldn't stick him. And see, the last 2 years, the boys just get better and better and better and better. But I just felt he can do that to any team. I've seen him do it to Paris. I've seen him do it to Man City. So we shouldn't need to batter ourselves. And Adeyemi's pace and Jamie Byron Gittins, he's been immense this season. So again, there's no shame in this. But again, there must be a point, like I say, every level of football I've been involved, where the captain goes, right, no more, this is what we're doing. And then are they allowed to do that on the pitch, or is Brendan Rodgers kind of going, no, this is how we fucking do it? I don't know. I'm kind of, again, ordering in circles.
I'm sure it's a lot, Scott, to be fair. But going back to your point there, I mean, you know, look, just off the top of your head, you could play Engels and Bernardo as what's the fancy word, 2 pivots or whatever. You could play the 2 of them together in the middle a bit deeper, and you've got physicality, you've got height, you've got people who get put a foot in or whatever. But you know, that's them removing McGregor or dropping McGregor. Can you see us? And it makes sense when you look at it like that. But can you see us even doing that?
The point I was kind of going to make is you go and look at not even the top teams, the kind of middle teams. The midfield now is full of genuine, bona fide athletes.
Yeah.
Like big monsters of players. Do you know what I mean? That go and look at that England team. Unless you're like sublimely talented on the ball, it's generally full of monsters. And people remember the old adage when Gordon Strachan talked about Scottish players are too wee, and everybody flung him, well, fucking Iniesta wasn't too wee, and Xavi wasn't too wee, and you're kind of going, well, you've just picked two of the genuine best players I've ever kicked the ball. Fuck me, you know what I mean? So we'll never get the top level, so we need strength in the team. I do think we need genuine strength at a cost to what? I don't know. But again, I'm just spitballing that because I don't really know the fucking answer.
No, you're right. And someone I was talking about Villa earlier on, mate. They're such a physical, not necessarily big, but they're such a physical, athletic team. Do you know what I mean? And the boy they bought off Everton as well, just fucking, he's huge in the middle of the park. And then you've got all the runners off him who are just Ramsey and Rodgers.
You seen his stats, Liam, with Everton compared to Villa? It's fucking unbelievable.
Night and day, yeah, totally, mate. I know. It's mental, you know. And Villa play
the young kid that Everton got for Villa, but it's fucking class as well.
Right, good. I'm not surprised, mate. Their academy is incredible. Right. Players they churn out of there, so. But we're worried about that.
see the thing for me. See what I don't know what your views on this is, Scott. I'd like to hear what you think, but why do we not play Maeda up front himself in Europe? The guy can run all day and he can get you a goal, and he's no fucking prolific, but you can then afford to pack your midfield or put an extra one in defence and just fucking lump the ball up to him and he'll fucking run all day.
Aye, his skill there, Jabo, could be a nuisance.
But then support it with the midfield supporting him, you know. And I just think we've got a guy there, it's an open goal that you can then afford to fucking pack your midfield. And forget the fucking wingers in Europe when you're playing top class opposition. That's fucking pointless. Because that's two guys you've got out wide that are just fucking left there. I just feel with these teams, they just get right through the middle of you and they just destroy you. And you have to have a strong midfield. And it just seems to me madness when you've got a guy there that's ready made for that. Don't know what you think.
Well, that can't be a bad suggestion. I mean, fucking look at the success Japan have had by using that same ethos. Make everything tight at the back, see what you can get up front because you've got somebody who's going to drag down. Because let's be honest about it, he scored the goal. You guys are telling me to be doing much else. You know what I mean? I mean, we Kyogo. The irony being, Kyogo done nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He no service, but he done nothing at all.
But then we go and play Ross County, and we missed his movement every second he wasn't in the pitch.
Oh, totally. When you're playing domestically, absolutely. But it just shows you the difference in fucking styles and difference in ability, obviously, before anything else.
Yeah.
But and domestically, Kyogo's fucking worth his weight in gold. But and he would be in Europe as well if we had top class players behind him. But you have to play with the fucking hand that you've got, and we can't compete with these guys. So we need to make it tight, and we need to be defensively well, and the midfield's got to protect the defence. And you've got a guy like Maeda, he's fucking run all day. Just fucking put him in the end of the defender's shoulders and just fucking lump balls into him. And I'm not a fucking football manager by any stretch of the imagination, but I personally, I think that would work.
But the thing you're saying there, where it falls down as a manager straight away, is we played Ida at the weekend, and I think I can count how many crosses we actually put in the boat. Because we never put fucking many. And Ida was supposed to be that other fucking, he's going to win the heaters. I mean, I was just watching the game, I was talking about the Motherwell game where Ida come on and he scored that belt and he done gets you back in the game. And you're kind of going, fucking use his assets, because you try to play Ida in the same way that Kyogo plays, and it's not like he's not there to do that. Do you know what I mean? He's almost. I don't know. It's so I do agree that a difference of style, but ultimately we're not going to get the style. I stress we could if we go and we give Atalanta a game of football, right? And we get beat 1-2, maybe 3-1. I think people come out with a different attitude. Because we can't sit and be fucking down about it because the competition is still there. We don't need to play Dortmund again, which is good. Do you know what I mean? We've got a whole brand new fucking set of teams. It's just a wee bit worrying. I mean, the only thing I'll put is for Brendan Rodgers is a bit of kudos to him. Do you remember we got battered after Barcelona? I think it was 6-0, 6-1 maybe.
Yep.
In the first game of the Champions League, and then we went to play Man City at home, and we were all keeping our breaks, and we were all lucky not to get Celtic turned up. Celtic were brilliant because the team played with the reaction, and it's you never know. Right now, my wee arse is making buttons, no doubt about it, and I'll probably watch it fucking through my fingers, but you never know. We can't stay doing. I mean. I'm just doing. I was kind of hoping next time I'd go in, I'd be a lot happier. But
Okay, no, I'm with you and Liam. I know Marty doesn't give a fuck, and Joe's just Mr. Happy.
See, in fairness to Marty's right what he said. It's not that he doesn't give a fuck. It's more that
He's resigned. He's found his peace. He's found his peace with being fucked. I mean, he's found his peace. He's found his happy place better for the fucking table.
What Marty's right he's saying, and I think I've spoken about it here before, no matter where Celtic go, and we've all been there together, guys, we've all sat in fucking stadiums all around Europe, and Celtic are 2-3, whatever, doing it half time, and I'm still pissed off, and I'm still sitting in a huff. There's no fucking happy clapping. I don't really do the happy clapping anymore. And I mean, do you remember when Munich beat us? And Munich almost took the foot off the pedal. They were 3-0 up at half time and decided, by the way, this could get embarrassing. Fuck you, Dortmund, for that. But see, I remember sitting in a big huff, no talking to anybody at half time. I was fucking livid. I mean, I was so livid.
To be fair, I said earlier on, Scott, Dortmund made all the subs and took all their main fucking bodies off. And there was a lull for about 5-6 minutes, and I'm like, fucking, we can maybe get back into this and make it respectable. And then they found that mojo and fucking, oh Jesus.
Well, like Liam says, I left in 60 minutes, and that was because I went down the stair at half time, and then just floated about down the stair. There was a couple of wee stewards clashes here and there, and I was kind of just floating about. And then I can't even remember, but by all accounts, a couple of stewards had me against a wall trying to see if I was all right. No, I fucking think I was near greeting. And then I left. Eventually, I won the exit because I was looking for it. I mean, I kept going the wrong way and ended up back in the run.
This sounds like a scene from a fucking emotional drama.
Aye. So I didn't see any of the second half either. So. But it's funny, on the way there, I was there with my brother-in-law, we were in the airport, and he said something that was a bit iffy, and then I was going to say, unfortunately enough, I've not seen Celtic take a proper doing, but I held my fucking tongue, and so I've seen Celtic take a proper doing now.
I was at PSG, fucking brutal. But I'll tell you, that was worse. That was worse the other night. That was worse.
I think it was worse because Borussia Dortmund on the fucking
as good as
top
PSG.
Level. On the top level. PSG at that point, they just signed Mbappe, they Neymar. Do you know what I mean? They were primed for the future at that point. The Barcelona were just coming off of one of their best seasons. Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, you had the sending off. So I agree. I don't think any of them was as bad as that one. I really do.
And by the way, it could have been double figures, easy. Easy.
To be honest, right, Jason. To be honest, right, we're based on the level of player that we can get, and we've got some exceptional players just now. But based on the level of player we can get, we're a Europa League team at best, right?
Oh, totally.
And based on recent performances over the last few years, we're a very average to lower Europa League team just now. So we're always going to have this shitstorm every time we're in the Champions League against some of the teams we come up against.
Do you think we're better than Bochum?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah. So
I made that point earlier, Scott. I mean, Dortmund, great on the night and great on their day, but plenty of teams have put it past them in the last few weeks.
yeah, there is a bit of there's, as I said in my wee blurb earlier on, there is a bit of I've watched every game this season, every Borussia Dortmund game this season, and different teams have put them under different duress in different ways. So Bochum went with a counter-attack system. Stuttgart went with a pressing, making them make mistakes system. Heidenheim were very much a counter, and Heidenheim still got something out of them, even though they end up getting beat 5-2, 4-2, I think it was, 5-3 maybe. So Borussia Dortmund aren't a classically brilliant team. We can go on about how they got to the final last year, but see, to be honest, they lucked out against Club Brugge. They really did. I mean, they scored fucking 3 goals in the last 7 minutes or something. You know what I mean? And how you hit the bar and there's no excuse for 7-1.
See for me, Scott, see because Borussia Dortmund are that good going forward, right? We've got quality midfielders and they're that good going forward. See when we leave ourselves as open in the midfield,
Yeah.
teams like that will absolutely... See if we played Athletic Club, right? Athletic Club to me are a better team than Celtic. We beat them in a pre-season friendly last year, right? But if we went against them, we wouldn't get thumped off them because they're set up. They don't overall attack in La Liga because some of the teams they're playing could cut them open, right?
Yeah.
So they keep it steady at the back, and then they use Inaki Williams, Nico Williams, blah blah blah. So they would potentially beat us, but we would have a chance of beating them because they don't go all out and fucking go for it. Dortmund are a team that can fucking go for it, right? So teams like that can fucking swamp us if we're no tight. Atalanta, I think they could swamp us. I think they could do the same as Dortmund because I think they can actually turn it on. But I'm going to kind of contradict myself here, but because they play in La Liga, Italian teams generally are more defensive minded, so they might not go for it. Obviously, watching the Dortmund video, they probably will, but they might not go for it as much. Whereas it was a kind of perfect storm with Borussia Dortmund because they can attack like fuck and they can fucking, and we were just weak in the midfield and so much gaps for them, and they just exploited them. And
I would really expect Atalanta, on the limited knowledge I have of them, to wait for us to make mistakes.
Aye.
And punishes.
Aye.
So that's up to us to be better, isn't it?
Aye. I don't think they'll be gung ho at Borussia Dortmund because Borussia Dortmund just went right out for that game at the start and just says, let's fucking attack these.
And as I say, Jason, if you come out it and you haven't taken a hiding and you've competed, as I say, I think a lot, myself included, a lot of us would come out of that and kind of go, right, okay, let's get through the next one.
We have learned.
And this have a proper fucking go at it. Because see, Leipzig at home, I expect Leipzig to beat us. Not even, I expect Leipzig to beat us before last week as well, but it's at home and that changes the dynamics. But then you've got Club Brugge, you've got Young Boys, you've got Dynamo. Is that it? Is that all we've got left? Villa. Well, again, that takes care of itself, doesn't it? You basically, the point of order is, if you manage to go and beat Club Brugge, Young Boys at home, and something out of Dynamo, which we've got to be seen as doable, and talking about 10 points. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've no throwing in the towel yet, guys.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it 10 points? It's definitely doable, Scott. Definitely.
I think so, mate.
Yeah.
But this, what I like about all the podcasts I've listened to, every bit of review I've listened to, people are hurting for this one in a way. They've no shrugged this one off like I've heard in the past. Do you know what I mean? So make them
Well,
happy.
you've got me. I'm a disciple now because a few years ago I wouldn't have been. I'd have been like, who cares? Similar to Marty, you know. Fucking 10 in a row's coming up again. Fucking don't worry about that. See now it's like get that and fucking shite in the sea. We need to be fucking better. And I know we're not good enough to fucking win the Champions League. I'm not fucking deluded, right? But I just want us to be able to compete with good teams, and we need to change our style when we play good teams. And Brendan Rodgers doesn't believe that's the case, and I just think he's a fucking maniac. Because when I heard these interviews and that, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I mean, we're paying all that money to go out to Atalanta and whatever, and he's like, I will learn from it, but we won't change the way we play. He's never said the exact words, but if you listen to loads of his interviews, that's what he's insinuating in. And it's like, we need to learn to be better than the, well, what I'm taking for it is we need to learn to be better on the ball. That's a given, right? Obviously, you want to learn to be better on the ball and you want to learn to be better distributing the ball. But I mean, if you watch the videos back, I get you'll get plenty of learnings because we gave the ball away so many times it was needlessly. But it was they were actually making the right pass, but they didn't play it hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
And they just nipped in and fucking took it away from us. And then before you know it, we're on the back foot and there's fucking 7 of them bearing down in our goal. I mean, some of the chances they had that they didn't score with was fucking unbelievable. We had 2 or 3 in the second half, to be fair, but the game was well over by then. There was a couple that we should have definitely scored. So we should have had 3-4 goals maybe in that game, which is unreal when you think about it away from home against a top team in Europe. But they
Is that right? Should we have had that? You think so?
Aye, a day.
Wow.
Aye. There was one.
I'm never ever going to watch it back ever.
There was one that was wild weed. I can't even remind. The ball was like kind of behind him, and it just I don't know how it didn't get in the net. And then there was another couple that we should have scored. Maybe another one that should have scored. The other one made a chance of scoring. So we had a few chances, but the game was done by then. It was like they were 6 up at the time, or 5 up at the time, you know. But they were rubbish at the back, mate. They're fucking terrible at the back. But they're right good in the midfield and going forward. Fucking lightning, fucking. And everything they touched was fucking brilliant. I mean, Schmeichel made some saves. You know, it wasn't he like fucking. You know, but the goals they scored, I know, he couldn't even go to some of them. They were fucking wild how good they were. But then you put in the thing, 2 penalties, you know, and are they avoidable? Aye, well, the first one, you're lucky Schmeichel's no sent off, but just defensive mistake. And then the second one, very unlucky. He's kicked his boot. He's not even fucking hurt him or anything, but he's been doing and fucking made a pig's ear at it, but essentially kicked his boot, so it's a penalty.
To counter what you say about them celebrating, they fucking, well, for 5 of the goals they fucking celebrated fucking loud and proud, so they did, man.
See on the telly, see when it flashed around about them, didn't even look. The ones that was going to were just clapping. I was
that's like I've said to you before, if they're going to the sitting bit, then that's what happens. You know what I mean, that's every game because but I'm staring right at their fucking away end, you know, at their home end. And some fucking movement, man.
Was it? Looked as if they won the ball on their arse on the telly.
Bunch of pricks. Right. Anything else? Who's Paul Tilsday at Tidsdale? Walners.
Exeter. Is it from Exeter, I think?
Wrap it up the fuck.
I think he was involved in the summer in the transfer stuff that we did.
Well, this is the guy we're bringing him in.
Yeah. Not wrong.
Who's this? What are you talking about? I've missed this.
A guy called What did you say? What did we say his name was?
Hold
Paul
on.
Tisdale.
Yeah, Paul Tisdale.
Paul Tisdale. Looks like a guy we're bringing in to replace Mark Law.
All right, okay. I've heard his name
His last
before.
club was Stevenage. Brilliant.
Really?
By all accounts, he's been asked to Villa and stuff like that, according to the limited Googling I'm doing here.
How have I heard this surname before? Tisdale.
We'll cover him next time around.
Next time around, once I've got a bit of enthusiasm in the boys.
I've got plenty of enthusiasm. I'm watching the Mets now playing the Phillies. And if we beat them tonight, fucking
score?
we're through.
Well, then I would say it is time to.
Nil.
What the fuck?
With the bases loaded
Wrap it
there,
up
we
the
won out and
fuck.
fucking couldn't get a run in.
Wrap it up the fuck.
I've been keeping in touch with this one, Jibo.
Fucking let's go, Mets.
Right.
Jason, remember the boy who played for Sheffield United, Balder, the fullback? He's linked with us. George Balder. He was a fullback. He was linked with us a few times recently. He's been found dead, 31 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
What, is he a Sheffield United player now?
I think he moved to Greece, but he was heavily linked to us for a while there.
Bloody hell.
Mate,
I'm
I am out the fucking door. Scott, I'm glad. I'm glad you've bled your grip.
Me too. Spoke sense there, Scott. It was good to get you on.
Yep.
It was good. It was good. It was good to have you let it out. I mean, listen, speaking is half a load, brother.
You talk half a load, you cunt.
That's why I'm captain of the ship. Anyway, folks, let's fucking what's the goalie team? What is the goalie team?
I'll be back next
Wrap
week.
it up,
I don't know what day Aberdeen guys coming on next week. I'm still looking for an Atalanta fan. I've secured a Club Bruges fan, which I'm happy about. So I'm still.
I really enjoyed the Uli Hess one. I really enjoyed that. He's fucking brilliant, isn't he?
He's a genius, man. We should just get him on one time just to sit with us.
Just gonna say
That would be intimidating, I think.
I love the hate shall never walk alone. I was like, fuck, God, you're still your boy.
As soon as he said that, I thought you were going to bring up Jabo. He will not see it in the flesh.
Aye, the best bit was see at the start, Scott. See when I was watching the start of the game when the fans all sung it, they're like, "This is unbelievable." I was like, "Fucking Yuli will be sitting down."
But I didn't realize it was some Engelbert Humperdinck fucking version they play.
They play a German version. Aye. It's funny. A wee bit sad but funny thing. It was just so I had a wee pal for Cork with Danny Hurley, and Danny died at 31. He was fucking on a building site, but Danny was an Everton fan. That was his team. We all used to give him some shit about it, and a load of the people on the huddleboard knew him. And I think my mate put a post up where my mate Danny died, and a lot of people were like, "Fuck me, I'm sorry," and everybody was putting, "You'll never walk alone" to the boat me on the post. And it was just and my mate Martin, big mate Martin, he's just posted to me like, "Thank you very much, everyone, for doing it. It's really, really appreciated. But I just know for a fact that we man be sick with all this fucking you never walk."
But you know what though? Isn't that what makes football brilliant though?
Oh, and here another one. Big Chris Kiernan. I don't know if any of you know Big Chris. He listens to the show, and I'm standing outside Wenkels in Dortmund, and the big man comes bounding, "Oh, Scotty boy, how you doing?" I was like, "Oh, Chris, how you doing, big man?" And he says to me, "You're fucking right." And I was like, "What am I right about? I'm not usually right." And he says, "I listened to yous the other week, and then I put on Kneecap, and I have to say, see at the end of it, I was choking for a bottle of wine and all. I was like, good man."
By the way, talking about Kneecap, fucking I can't stop listening to them. Honestly, though, see after watching that documentary, their tunes on. I've got tickets to go and see them in the bars. Might get to, and he's like, "Fancy it?"
Jabo, they are it is the most bizarre thing that a couple of smicks from West Belfast and a film Derry are now global,
Unbelievable.
and internationally recognized fucking music phenomenon. Like with Noel
I've got
Gallagher
Uri
going, like,
into them as
it's
well now.
unreal. See, fucking. I'm not one of them control. I said it was cool, right? But I was like, see their album when it came out. I was straight on to it, going like, this is gotta be good, right? See the last track in their album, right? Fucking, it is one of the most positively uplifting tunes. I play it all the time in the car. It's got a cracking hook. Like, it's not even about fucking them rapping in Irish. It's just the entire message. Because I asked my daughter, like, what are they saying? Like, she explains what they're saying. I'm going like the entire message is just fucking completely positive, and it's great. I mean, and see if anybody doesn't understand that the whole Republican part of them is just an escalated version of what they think people perceive West Belfast fucking smicks to be. They're missing the trick. They're absolutely missing the trick, and the rest of the world is picking up the trick. To me, it's almost sometimes like going like, you know why you two are undervalued in Ireland, right? Right? But they're massive around the world. Kneecap will have both of that. They'll be really well valued in Ireland and be massive around the world because see what they do. It's so fucking unique, and they've hit that niche and they hit it bang on the bullseye.
But do you know what, Joe? Right, the thing for me that gets it right, apart from the Republican side of it as well, but the thing that gets me is I've never heard any new music for about 20 years. There's been nothing different from what's been there before, apart from some shitey songs where people are all standing with their phones, prancing about and talking shite. And this has just came, and it's like, this is new. This is they've actually created something that nobody created before.
It's very much its own niche.
Aye.
Right? But again, Jay, it didn't fall out of the sky. They were playing fucking pubs in West Belfast, and they were constantly going like, "This is mental." These constantly, but I mean, the fact that they've captured a global audience
First man, all right.
The fact that they've captured a global audience to the point that they're now in contention for an Oscars, fucking the shout is just
fucking Elton John and all that fucking on podcast.
It's fucking insane, right? But it's
new. And the thing is,
exactly, and that's what people want. They want new. See the likes of Fontaine's DC. I assume you don't listen to them, right? But like the lad from Fontaine DC, the lead singer, Green Chatton, he's from up the road here in Scarries, right? But what they do is they just cut their own path and they do their own thing, and that's what fucking Kneecap have done. And people and see people like Elton John, and Elton John was new when he came along. David Bowie was new when he came along. Rolling Stones was new when they came along, right? So they're always looking for something that different. Exactly. They're always looking for that, right? And see, and when it comes along, they go fucking right. But it's mostly Irish.
It's amazing. They're so good, and their tunes are catchy as fuck. And it's fucking, I love them, man. Really good. Good.
Have you seen the film?
Aye, amazing. I wish the film was true. You know, see, you watch it, it's like so. There's bits of it I'm actually barely laughing.
I just love it because, like, I mean, it's film where I grew up. Like, I mean, I just love to go like fucking Hawthorne Street, fucking Cavendish Street, fucking up fucking the White Rock. And you're like, fuck me, man. This is like and see for my sister, she obviously is in North Carolina. I'm going to visit her now at the end of next week. But like, see for her to be in America, where this is like where this film is like taking hold, right? Like, it's bizarre for her because people don't understand. They understand her and they know her, right? But they don't really understand where she comes from and what it's like. And then they see this film, and she's like, "Well, that's where I grew up. And there's a certain context that kind of twists." You know what I mean? Because the Americans get it. And see again, here's the thing. America sneezes, the world gets a cold, right? See when America catches something in terms of like a media context or a film context, it's gold. It's gold.
Oh, it's unreal, and it's like, it's just like, I get like there has been new stuff, right? Grime and shit like that. It's all come about and like new, like, but that's not really new. It's just like taking something else and changing it a wee bit. This is actually new. This is stuff that's never been done before.
Aye, no one's like,
Aye.
I mean, in terms of Irish hip hop, right? In terms of we've had Rob Kelly on this show, right? Like again, I was the person that knew who Rob Kelly was because I'm a massive hip hop head, right? I love like since I was fucking like,
But
I don't know,
their music isn't really hip hop. It's something totally new.
no, but here's a thing, Jay, right? What they're really good at production wise is they mix a lot of different styles together. I mean,
Aye,
right?
it's
I
like
mean,
totally new.
and that's why it's unique. I mean, but again, it's like in terms of Irish hip hop's always been kind of considered to be a wee bit of a fucking dirty cousin to fucking UK hip hop, which was always kind of shit. But UK hip hop now is quite big in terms of if you consider it to be like fucking Dave and all these kind of different producers, right, and fucking artists, right. But in Ireland, you've only really got the likes of fucking like Rob Kelly and fucking Johnny Darko, all these different guys, right? But see where Kneecap sit, they sit in a very different cultural space because they're doing hip hop specifically because they want to promote the Irish language in that medium, right? And see back in like the 90s, French hip hop was a big thing, right? And French hip hop is still a big thing, right? But it was popular because it was unique. You had like guys like MC Solar who were like rapping in French or something like that. But they had like high class all round fucking like producers coming near them because it was unique. But it kind of faded away. See now, Kneecap has captured that space.
But see, to stop you there, Joe, I don't really think Kneecap are hip hop. I don't like. I'm not a music.
But they think they're hip hop. That's the difference.
Right. But I'm not a music buff, right? But I just love music. But the thing is, you look at bands like The Clash, they were new. The Jam, they were new. There was the Stone Roses, they were new. There was music that was new. Kneecap have just got this thing that it's new. I don't think. You keep quoting hip hop people. I don't think Kneecap fall into that bracket. They're just something that's totally unique, and they're not hip hop.
I know, but when you watch the film, the whole point of the film is like the hip hop and fucking Irish language go hand in hand. That's the message in the film, right? And I'm kind of leading off that, right? But you talk about the Stone Roses and the Clash, and that they're like what they did came off rock and roll. What they did came off R&B. What they did came off guitar music, right? Exactly, right. But I mean, like I've been to loads of hip hop gigs in my life, right? I've never seen a mosh pit at a fucking hip hop gig, right? Kneecap are taking fucking hip hop and they're moving that to fucking like mosh pits. They played the Reading Festival, which is essentially a heavy metal festival, always has been, right? And they had mosh pits at it, right? So while I'm saying they're hip hop, again, I'm making the point that they have carved their very own fucking niche, whereby
exactly
everybody get into it because there's in the music there's hip hop, there's house, there's dance, there's rock, there's metal, there's all that stuff, right? And that's the point I'm making is going like they've carved a niche and they fucking placed Irish language at the center of it, right?
Yep.
And see the charm, see that West Belfast fucking charm. Right? Again, that's what Paddy McDonald has. That's what Kneecap have. See that fucking charm, that grit, that ability of like going, like, I don't give a fuck. It appeals to so much of the world.
Aye.
It appeals to so much of the world.
Amazing.
I mean, especially if you've got something to back it up with. I mean,
more power, fucking
100%, mate. I have loved watching it, and I hope it goes fucking even further and further and further.
And do you know what? See my mate Peter Ross. Peter Ross has been going to see them for years. He's always been right into niche music. He's always been, but he's been going to see them for years. But as long as they've played, he's seen them. I don't know how many times. He's seen them out in Ireland. He's seen them here as well. And So I'm
That's
late.
it. I mean, but fair fucking play to them. They didn't fall out of the sky. You do the hard yards. You know what I mean?
Aye, definitely.
You play
And
the
the thing-
fireplaces. You play the fireplaces, and the next thing you know, on the stage.
Aye, I know. And you look at the UK top 40, I think they've said, like, for the past, like, fucking, I don't know how many years, how many bands are in the UK top 40? It's fucking zero. I know they're not a band, but they're, like, near enough. It's like 3 guys, you know. Well, saying that, they're not really a band, are they? So I suppose they kind of fall into that.
Who the fuck is a band? I don't know. They're a group. They're a
Well,
group.
Fontaines DC,
They're a
you
group.
mentioned them.
The antithesis of fucking Boyzone. That's what they are.
Aye, fucking brilliant. So they are. I've been watching loads of videos back of them, like when they're on the Patrick Kilty show and that. Fucking brilliant.
Then I've got Joe Brolly representing them for some court case or some.
There was a couple of court cases against them, and Joe Brolly was the man.
Oh, boy,
And again, you don't want Joe Brolly being against you, do you really? And, like, see, if you step into Joe Brolly's world, you're doing Joe Brolly things.
yeah, totally, man. Totally.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Big Celtic fans as well, I believe. So, because you said your mate John Joe, well, I seen the photo as well. They're in the Ploughing Stars watching.
Oh, aye.
watching the game in
Here's
Philadelphia.
here's the thing, though. I believe they're big Beamish fans.
Are they? No like the Guinness.
I believe they're Beamish heads, and you know what though? When I was living in Belfast, I was always a Beamish kind of person.
Right, aye.
Aye. There's a thing about Beamish. I love a good Beamish. Right?
I would give it a go. I don't think I've ever tried it. You don't
Well,
get it here.
Do you know what though? You might have tried it and not known. I've seen you. I've seen videos of you and Mick on the Falls Road. On the Falls Road. Who knows?
Hey, the day when you walk into a boozing Belfast city centre, you boys going to be all right the Monday morning. Well, how what? It says you did this place fucking upside down last night. Fucking Belfast city centre. Fucking hell! You made it then, haven't you?
You boys from Wishaw or Warsaw? What the fuck?
Fucking hell.
See, before we finish, do you need to talk about the walk at all? In case we're not on.
Right, so here's the thing, Liam, right? So it's a good point. Have you registered yet?
No, so I'm going to do it, but I'm just the fundraising is going to be a problem for me because I'm just off the back of one there last week. So
Don't worry, mate. Listen,
no, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the walk and just chuck some money in myself for it. So
that's what I'm doing. I'm not
Yeah,
going to fucking
exactly.
do it.
yeah,
Right, so listen, you need to register tonight or early tomorrow morning because we're getting
Okay.
the t-shirts printed tomorrow, right?
is it a different T-shirt? I've already bought one. I can wear that. Is it a different?
No. It's we're getting
Right.
special ones made for
Right,
the
okay.
jaunt, right? So here's the big problem, right? We're all panicking because we're at the meeting tonight, and because Big Billy died, we don't know when his funeral is. So see if his funeral's on the Saturday, it's going to be an awkward thing because loads of us need to go to his funeral, and
Could you not just
basically,
do it tonight, no.
so it's a horrible thing, right? But anyway, the walk for the Tommy Gemmell statue in Craignuke, or where the statue site's going to be, is next Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're walking to Celtic Park. So there's 45 have registered now, right? So you need to register on the site, Liam, so we know how many.
right now, talking to you.
Right, so going to the Tommy Gemmell if anybody wants to do the walk, it's the saunter. We don't know why I call it a walk, but if you want to do the saunter, it's next Saturday morning at 8 a.m. in Craignuke. If anybody's coming from Glasgow or whatever, get the train to Shield Muir and you walk out into Craignuke. It's right there where we're going to be leaving from, and.
Have you checked the times, James? When I looked, it wasn't too early a train. I'll have a quick look now.
Right, so the train station Shield Muir, if you got off there, so it's 8 a.m. We're leaving for the statue site. It's across the road for the library in Craignuke, just up for St Patrick's Shield Muir Chapel. and we're leaving there at 8 a.m. walking to Celtic Park, down through Motherwell, up through Bells Hill. We'll be stopping at the Billy McNeil statue, then we'll walk through View Park, stop at the Jimmy Johnson statue, and then we'll head straight on to Celtic Park. So we're hoping to be at Celtic Park for about 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's 13 miles. So anybody that wants to do the walk or the saunter, go onto the Tommy Gemmell Community Project page, and at the bottom there's a bit that's saying the walk to Celtic Park or whatever. Go in there, register your name, put the size of your t-shirt, because the t-shirts need to be into my big mate tomorrow to get them all printed. So we're getting a special t-shirt for everybody that's doing that walk. You need to pay £10 to register, and you'll get a t-shirt. And then obviously if you want to do some sponsorship, get some fundraising or whatever, we'd greatly appreciate it. But so that's it, Liam. So if you're doing it, just register and that's you in. And we'll get the t-shirts.
Yeah, Joe, can you go on and share, or in fact, I can do it, share the link off the Twitter tonight just to give people a chance. Jason, the first train from Glasgow Central to Shieldmuir gets there at 7:51. So is it close?
Perfect.
Right then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're leaving at 8. That's perfect then.
Right. I'll be on that one then. That's fine.
Perfect. We're leaving it. We're meeting at 7:30, and then we'll be there. We're leaving at 8. So we've got first aiders, we've got everything. So once you register on the site, you need to put your mobile number in, next of contact, etc., in case anything goes wrong. We've got first aiders, we've got some cars that's following us, we're going to have some food stops, etc., and that's it. So if you're going to the game, then I don't know, bring a rucksack and a change of clothes or whatever, or just get what you're wearing. I don't think I'm the warm. But that's it. So we hope to be at Celtic Park, 12:30, 1 o'clock. Then we'll have buckets and we'll go into the Supporters Association, go to the Bill McCoy, the Oak, and whatever boozers run about Celtic Park for some fundraising. But so we've got nearly 50 of them now registered. So so it'll be a good wee day. But obviously the thing with Big Billy dying, and if his funeral's in the Saturday, it's going to be an absolute disaster. I don't know what's going to happen. If we need to postpone it or what, but I don't think that we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, and I know for a fact the big man would say, just you head on your walk. So that's it. So Cormac's coming out for Dublin as well, Betty Toner's mate. He's going to do it. So there's so it's going to be good. And so we jaunt in the Celtic Park, walking.
So Jason, is it worth me sharing this tonight then? Because a lot of people won't listen to this till tomorrow, I wouldn't have thought. Is that too long?
Do it, mate. Aye.
Right, okay. I'll put it on. Put it on the social.
Just means if anybody wants to register after it, it'll be too late for might be too. In fact, it won't be too late. I'll say to my mate, and he'll add a couple on it. He's printing the t-shirts. There'll be no problem at all. Just tell them to register. Just post a link for the statue site. And if anybody wants to register to do it, everybody's more than welcome.
I'll do it now. That's it.
Perfect.
It's felt good. You know what?
Wrap it up the fuck.
It's felt good tonight. It's felt like we expunged something. You know what? I would urge everybody to start a podcast and start fucking bleeding out their Celtic opinions, because I feel good.
I'm glad we got Scott on. I'm glad he came out.
He did. He came out, and again, we need more Celtic podcasts like us, just moaning like fuck and just recovering.
Hope Brendan Rodgers wasn't listening.
Fuck him.
Again, he would listen, take on board, and then do it on a fucking show anyway.
Fucking just ignore the laws.
But again, we are healed. That is the important thing. Folks, I think we're done. We'll be back. Oh, here, by the way, fucking any other business, I won the fucking goal of the month.
So you did.
Hold on, Joe. You never scored the goal of the month. You want to expand on this a little bit?
I scored the goal. By the way, here's a thing, right? So I was watching the fucking goal of the month, right? And I was like, I was watching the game. And I was like, I'll enter that. And I went online, entered, and got an email from Jerry McCullough going like, you've won the goal of the month for August. And I was like, fucking the same Callum McGregor jersey. Happy fucking days. Right? Right? Do you know what I did? Like an idiot. I made the mistake of telling my son that he won it. Right? So my life has been a daily assault course of going like, is that jersey coming? As Callum McGregor said it, does he know who I am? Fuck me. Right? Contacted Jerry the other day going, Jerry, I made a mistake of telling my son that he won it. And he's like, oh, listen, I'll get it saying to your son. International breaks are gone. He's like, Callum's not back till next week. So I am now on the fucking hook for a signed Callum McGregor jersey that is in the distance. It's a week or two in the distance.
What goal was it, Joe? Tell the listeners the goal.
Against Hibs. In the yellow jersey, the long range one. The long range one.
Any chance of a bit more information? Who scored it?
Oh, he scored it. He scored it about 5 from outside the box, almost exactly the same, hasn't he, so far?
No, at Easter Road.
Yeah, I know, but he scored loads in the same way this season.
Well, that's the one on Easter Road that he scored.
Callum McGregor, yellow jersey, outside the box, Easter Road.
Yeah,
I
know what you're on about, Joe.
Okay.
Hey, listen. All I can gather is that not many people enter these competitions, unlike me, who sits in the sofa going, I don't know that. And I've won the jersey, right?
So that's how Zoe got onto the mascot. She just got me to register for something on Twitter and on Instagram I knew nothing about. And the guy rang up and said, you've won. You've won the mascot thing. So
and that was, and Liam, that was the day I brought my son's football team to Celtic Park as well.
Yeah. It was one of the best days of my life. So
there you go.
Get entering these competitions. That's the
okay. Here's the message of this show: is enter the shit because you never know. You never know.
By the way, right? I had an old uncle, right? God rest him, right? Maybe because a load of these like man, he was married to Manty Seeley, right? So John Macaulay, and he was a guy. He got me in. He was a mad Celtic fan for years, and the other side of the family, the Macaulays, like they all go to the games. I still go to the games, loads of them now, right? But Uncle John, God rest him, died a good few years ago. Teetotal, whatever. But he entered every competition in the world. And see the amount of shit that he won. Fucking, he did a good job in that. Fucking done all right for himself, right? But he entered everything. My mum and dad always tell a story. They were down in Blackpool. All the family went down for the September weekend or whatever. And there was a competition for the fucking Daily Star or something, or some newspaper. If you were seen walking down Blackpool Promenade with the paper under your arm, somebody would, and he fucking walked up and down all day with the paper under his arm. but seemingly, see the shit that he won in his life, seemingly it was unbelievable.
Brilliant,
man. You know, because he entered everything. No, just one of these guys, anything that was in the go, he would enter it. And obviously paid off because he fucking won loads of shit.
And I ever tell you this story, right? Now, our Colin might have told you this, right? So his ma came to visit in New York, and Dublin had won the All Ireland, the Sam Maguire, and they brought to New York, and they were having a fucking thing in New York, and our Colin, being our Colin, didn't have a ticket, but he got in, right? With his ma, right? And there was a big fucking raffle going on, and for a guy that didn't have a ticket, who won the raffle?
Colin.
He fucking won the raffle. The con was born next to Platinum, I think.
Fucking some man.
Some guy, man.
Done me a right turn as well, man. I senior managers for work was there for America. Hadn't met him before. And I said to him, do you ever go to any concerts in Irving Plaza? He says, Jason, I'm there 2-3 times a year. He says, do you ever go to Irish Boozer next there? He's like, all the time. I says, my mate's one of the barmen in it. Give me your number. I says, call him. I says, if the big Zedlo comes in, just look after him.
We don't want to give away Colin O'Kane's fucking secrets, so let's wrap it the fuck. That's a valuable connect. We don't want to be giving away.
He listens to this as well, by the way. So here,
Of course he fucking does. Of course he does. Wasn't his life, I can't.
he's been on it as well. He's been on here, hasn't he?
Of course he has.
times.
Hasn't he? Again,
By the way,
if ever a guy would fall in the window and go up, it'd be him.
by the way, no man fucking wonders in there the news. She's no fucking in there. But the Mets are 0-0 now, right? If they win the night, they've knocked the Phillies out. I might be in Colin's gaff next week. Don't worry. Let's go, Mets!
Is that how close it is to the final?
Well, if they win this, they're in the divisional series final, and then it's the World Series.
Hold on.
So if 2-1 up, so they won. If they win the night, Liam, that's them qualified. They play either Los Angeles Dodgers, San Diego Padres, and then it's the World Series. And it could be against the Yankees.
Well, we should let you deal with this domestic problem offline.
That's it.
Folks, as usual, it's great to be back. I'll talk to you next week.
Nice one.
Hail, hail.
See you later.
Uh,
Bye.